Yesterday, I heard that some people went to see Mr. President. Pandev is the worst organization anybody can rely on.
Why?
Let me tell you. I used to tell my father, I said, Dad, I got him. I'm disappointed with this. If you continue with this, I'm not going to support you. I will not be a party to it. If you have a father who is always interested in money, he can sell his child or his children. All these leaders, look at the comments they have made. Mr. President intervened in this matter. Mr. President intervened. I'm not talking about Vice President though. Mr. President intervened. Vice President was there. National Security Advisor was there. National Security Advisor signed for implementation of peace. This same Pandev came out and said, Mr. President has no right. They took Mr. President to court. People like Chief Sara, one of the worst persons you can ever think of. One of the merchants, what is called merchants? I knew them. Data speak.
That 1990 is facing in the Labour Party is contrived and funded by the government of the day. Everyone knows it. Jumping from one court to another is all designed to distract the party leadership from focusing on their core functions. The same thing is happening in the PDP.
Worse.
Even the NNPP has been targeted for destruction. There are people that have been resourced to go and cause problems in the NNPP. The last thing I read about NNPP was that one faction of the party has expelled Kwankwaso and the sitting governor. When you see things like that, you know it's contrived crisis. Which party sacks a sitting governor?
The only governor they have.
And the only governor they have. You know it's contrived. I don't have the details. I cannot mention names because I don't have.
Reports say 3,800 people have died in anti-drug operations.
Yes.
3,800 people?
Yes.
You think that's fine?
Killed
by who? Police officers?
By police officers.
Who've admitted that many of those killings were false killings?
No,
that they were dressed up?
That's absolutely not true.
Filipino police have not admitted that?
Absolutely true. Yes.
Filipino police officers have not admitted to any false killings?
Absolutely. There are a couple who we caught.
So they have admitted?
No, they have not admitted because they're guilty. Okay. No guilty guy would admit. There are a couple of policemen who were caught murdering and they're being charged by murder.
So every single one of the 3,500 people who was killed was a drug dealer?
Yes.
How do we know that? You didn't try them, you didn't prosecute them, you didn't charge them, you shot them on sight. That's not a democratic way of solving crime, is it?
You're absolutely saying it as if you're not on the ground. Come and look. So if I pull a gun on you here right now and you shoot me, it's your fault?
Hold on,
it's my fault?
No, that's not what I asked. I said 3,500 people have been killed by the police.
3,500 people.
Are they all criminal drug dealers?
I thought they should stop oppressing his fellow senators. As they take elect Fabio, so they take elect other senators.
Let me see, what's there? Go on now, go with it.
This one say Akpabio is anti-North. Hey! Akpabio Yashiga Oku. You dey do before this one, this one what you do, your head, you don't cut. Oh, Chimo. Akpabio is anti-North. Hey! Senator Akpabio. And they tell him that not be everybody go touch go free. You don't talk to touch Akpiti. You don't look for your dada. This matter is serious. See crowd. Akpabio must resign. Where all these people come out from?
What do you say? Akpabio must what?
Akpabio must go.
Akpabio must go. Akpabio must go.
I must see crowd.
Akpabio.
Can they?
Okay.
Protect women's rights. Akpabio must resign.
Wait, I want something. When I say, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Did you see the crowd? Fabio is anti-not. Protect women's rights.
Nigerians, but they implement conscience laws. When go they favor a criminal.
I'm the IYC Secretary General. Today, you can imagine see weakest people and your people, they are chasing us. Look at my face. Look at it. They are chasing us. They came here and said we will not have our own meeting in Abalama. Look at what they've done to me. You can look at my eyes, see how they are chasing all our people, see what they are doing to us. So the world should know what is going on. The world should know what is going on.
Asawana, Aisa, our national secretary.
Look at them, wicked soldiers, Dutch Kelly soldiers. They've been shooting at us. They've chased us away, and while they are having their own, we are having our own meeting. They said we can't have ours. They are having their own meeting. They've been chasing after us. They've been shooting at us. They've been tear gassing us. They've injured a lot of women here. So I am just reporting live. We are only here as Calabari people and as Ijaw people to have IYC Congress, nothing more. They chose to also fix their meeting in our same venue. And now we said, okay, use your part, let's use our part. They brought their police and Nigerian army, the tanks and all of that, they're shooting at us. So this is just what is going on. We want the world to be aware. See how they've chased our people, but I'm still advancing, moving towards them. So they should kill us if they want to kill us. This is just what it is. Eyes on. Eyes on. Asawana. Asmadede. Thank you.
Nigeria's Senate President Godswill Akpabio is in big trouble. Yes. In fact, if he hasn't already started peeing his pants, he's probably going to. Right now, the Nigerian senators, our senators, are holding him by, well, you get the picture. What am I doing? They are holding him by the balls. Yes, I said it. They are calling him a fraudster. And let me tell you, it is not a good look for the former governor of Akwa Ibom State. This is bad, real bad. If you can spare a minute, I will explain it to you. It's unbelievable. Did you know that the Senate Ethics Committee didn't sign off on the suspension of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan? Did you know? Before Akpabio rushed out to read the quote-unquote official report to the public. Hey, you probably did not know. Oh, just listen. Akpabio, alongside the ethically challenged ethics committee chairman, you know the guy, that Mr. Neda Imosun, who, let's not forget, has a little history with being disbarred in New York, decided to play a little fast and loose with the rules. Oh yes, they used signatures on the attendance sheet of committee members to pretend that they all approve Natasha's suspension. Classic fraudulent move, right? No surprise here. New York Bar Association did not take neither emotions license away for nothing. It was behaviors like this one that made New York to kick him out of their list of lawyers. And of course, he went to Nigeria and opened a law firm. Oh, Africans, who did this to us? I'll give you the details when we come back.
President of the IPU, good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue, it's a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is.
And you took my Senate to God. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my Senate.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend
No, sorry. Sorry.
I hope that Nigeria wins. I'm never going to wish any president evil so that I can say I told you so. No, I won't wish them evil. I hope. You see, I'm not praying. There's no point. I can't pray for Nigeria to be fine. I only hope that Nigeria wins and Nigerians win. Because if you choose a dodgy doctor who has a dodgy record, who has, all sort of accusations leveled against him, to say this doctor, we think he's done this, or this doctor, this surgeon, yes, he's a senior surgeon, he's the most whatever surgeon, but there are a lot of accusations leveled against him. If you choose him to operate on you, and you tell me to pray for you that it doesn't kill you surgery, what's the point? I can't pray. You might make it, you might not make it. My prayer won't change anything. So I hope Nigeria and Nigerians win during Tinubu's 4 years. Thank you.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil-producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a character like Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me respond to him. One second.
Do not defend a character like Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.
Rudolph, I've never seen this part of him before. My God.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Saturday, March 15th, 2025. And this is Have Your Say 247, the show where we give you the opportunity to have your say on all the issues happening in Nigeria, Africa, and the world. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. We are coming live to you from New York City. I hope you're having a nice Saturday. It's 1:19 p.m. here in New York. The time changed in Nigeria, so that's why some people are asking why we're starting late. We're not starting late. We're using the Nigerian time. So we're still starting at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, which is now 1 p.m. here in New York. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot of topics for you today. And even as we are preparing the show, more stories are breaking. So we will touch on most of them. We are going to talk about the situation in the Philippines, where the former president of the Philippines has been taken to the ICC to answer charges for what happened when he was president. And it makes you wonder, can they help us out in Niger? Also, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, is, he accepted a 30-day ceasefire, but Russian President Putin is giving conditions for that to happen. So we're going to touch on that. Are we going to see peace, or are Europeans going to continue to kill themselves? Because we don't define it the way it should be, which is that Europeans are killing themselves. If we were to be Africans, that's how they will define it. So we're going to talk about that. Coming home, the story of Natasha and Akpabio continues to be in the news. This week, Natasha showed up at the UN here in New York, and she spoke to the United Nations. And that added more pressure on the Senate in Nigeria. And we're getting reports that the Senate are not happy, people in the Senate are not happy with Akpabio for how they actually went through the ethics committee sitting and the reports that they published. We are reading today in the newspapers that they are planning to bring Akpabio and Natasha to testify again in that same ethics committee. So we're going to talk on all those issues. In River State, the situation there is heating up. You all see, I think in the last few days, we saw the governor, Fubara, tried to go into the state assembly and they closed the door and stopped him from getting in there, which is also something quite unusual to see happen in Nigeria. So that situation is sitting up there, threatening to impeach him and remove him from office, and the job people are saying that will never happen and they are ready to fight. So we don't know how that will end. In Lagos, Tinubu intervened in the story with the state assembly there and gave them marching orders to settle it and have peace. We're going to talk about also what happened in Lagos and how Tinubu handled that. The other story in the news is El Rufai emerged from wherever he was and joined the SDP, which set up series of movements. And we are hearing that Mustafa and other political heavyweights are trying to move to SDP. On 90 Minutes Africa, in a week's time, we are going to have the SDP presidential candidates in the last election joining us to tell us what's going on, how the SDP became the party of the beautiful bride. Also, we hear about Peter Obi making moves with Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State. So all those things will be part of what we are going to discuss today. So let's kick it off and welcome you all who are joining us, those on the comment section, those who are already in the studio, and those who are watching at home. Thank you for joining us this Saturday. Of course, I probably forgot the most important news of the week, which is that Prophet Odumeje may run for president. Not may, he said he will run for president. We have to laugh, we have to laugh. But he's serious. Take a look.
We need a young leader in this country. And I think I'm coming out. We need a young leader in this country as a president, a digital leader, not old cargoes. Am I sure you're hearing me? I think I will come out. I will come for president. Are you ready for me? Odumeje for the president? Odumeje for the president? Because I know what you need. Amen. Can citadel? Can you get a modern life, a digital life?
Oh, this will be wonderful. I'm moving back home. What am I doing here in America? I'm going back home. If Odumeje is running, I'm going back home. It's about time. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. KJ, welcome to the show. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. The flagship, welcome to the show. And Femi, welcome to the show. So, it's another week, and I don't know, maybe I missed something important just for the purpose of mentioning that we may not get into it. I just got a message from someone who told me that Trump is considering closing down, blocking some states from people from some countries from coming into America. So there's a list, and Nigeria is not there. Ghana is not there. Kenya is not there. But some African countries, Haiti is there. Eritrea is there. Nigeria is not there. So that's good news. On the other side of it, we also know that the U.S. Congress just named Nigeria as a country where Christians are being killed. And Nigerian officials have been moving around, crying and writing rejoined that nobody will read in Washington. But it's something that is also going on that we have impacts on. They're talking about sanctions on Nigeria. So those are the two things that someone just sent to me that we may have to talk about. KJ, anything we missed?
No, nothing. You were able to capture everything, including the ongoing protests in Rivers State. So I think you are right on target. Okay. I don't know. Did you include our able Senator Natasha Akpoti, who is now the new table shaker?
Oh yeah. We did. Yeah, that's
okay. So you are right on point, sir. Thank you so much.
A major topic. Okay, Paul.
Doctor, I like what happened with the interview with Prince Adewale in Arise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you see when Rufai quick to say, I am journalist, you don't teach journalists their work. Rufai is not a journalist. He didn't go to school to study journalism. He went to study some Greek and every other thing. You understand? When journalists talk, when you want to see part of type of jobs that you see journalists do, this is what Ojinika Okme do. We'll bring the facts, the way they keep bringing all Rufai previous video, the way they'll bring Odumeje previous video to counter him. How do you just accuse somebody like that, but you can't even bring any evidence to counter it? That is not good journalism. That is sentiment. You might like Obi for all I care. It's a good thing, but don't just level somebody down with no facts. When this guy is accusing you like that, go back to your studio. Where's your archive? Let your guys in the archive bring this thing out and everything. So when Rufai want to talk, I just look at it and say, shut up.
Yeah, but it wasn't Rufai that actually did that.
No, Rufai want to attack, but Prince Adewale was so strong enough to counter him. Where is the evidence? Do you understand? Which I really, really enjoy, because we see all those things in CBS, CNN, Fox. They go back to the archive. That is the purpose of archive. You bring the thing to shut the person down. I really like that. Then the second one, you just take it away in the last minute. My daddy in the Lord, Odumeje. I'm telling you, I want to go to Nigeria and vote for that guy. Because Nigeria now, normal is abnormal, and abnormal is normal. So let me go for abnormal. I'm just going to go vote for Odumeje. The country is so mesmerized with all type of stupidity. That's my take for that.
Thank you so much. And for anybody who may have contact for Odumeje, I'm looking for him. He's my #1 guest for 90 Minutes Africa. So if you know how we can reach him, let me know. I'll call him. All right.
I will try to pull some strings, because I really have some guys who do a business around that in the way. There are a lot of them. I'll try to pull some strings around.
All right. That would be good. I really want to get him. Femi, welcome. Femi, we can't hear you.
Good morning. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Good morning, Doctor. You've basically covered everything. Maybe just a side note, it might not be too important. The meningitis outbreak in Kebbi. It's a yearly thing now, so it's not even news. And then that's a content creator that was found diseased in Kenya. Again, maybe not so much of a big deal, but I mean, again, you've covered everything I think you could.
Okay, thank you. Somebody just sent me something else I need to mention. Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, just announced that South Africa's ambassador to the United States is no longer welcome in America. So the issue between America and South Africa is heating up, which is quite interesting. So we discuss that tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa when we bring in the governorship candidate for Anambra State, Val. All right, Flagship.
Thank you, Rudolph. Good morning to everybody on the panel and those that are watching. Odumeje for president. What could be better?
We all go home.
That would be the icing on the cake. I think you covered the majority of the top stories in Nigeria, but there's one that I thought caught my attention most. Obasanjo just released a new book. Are you aware of that?
I had that.
Yeah, he pretty much castigated the Tinubu administration and condemned that Lagos Calabar project, called it a wasteful spending, and that the government, the Tinubu administration, is thinking of themselves, personal achievements only, And also, he questioned the 21 billion naira that was used for Shetima's residence. And the big question is Shetima living there? Nobody knows.
No, he's not. He's not.
So that money just went to, what do you call it? How do they say it in Nigeria? Voicemail, rather. 21 billion gone. And he's not living in the house. So I thought that was critical, that at least I'm happy he put it in a book so history would record it, would have it there. And then we need to talk more about it and see why all of this money that our government is packing up every day is just ending in their pockets and for nothing.
All right. Thank you, Flagship. Ike, welcome.
Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I wasn't here when you started, but I believe that based on what my friends and my brother said, I think you covered everything. The only thing, side comment I want to make is that politics, power, Marco Rubio today, look at the politics he's playing. He has forgotten where he came from. And he has forgotten what America gave him and his family to be where he is today. Now he kissed the ring of Donald Trump, the president of America. Look at what he's doing today. So it's funny. You know, it's funny that sometimes we come here, we try to, the same cabal is everywhere. It depends on the way they play their cabalism in America. Because when I'm looking, I follow the Rubio, because he was a young man that I love so much in his belief with Romney in American politics. Look at what he's playing today as foreign minister. So it's the same thing. He has kissed the ring and he has succumbed to everything this guy says. So it is what it is. And for the Ayo that Adebayo that will be here tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, next week, next Sunday.
Next week.
Tomorrow is Val.
Yeah, I think he was defensive. I'm not gonna say that the Ayo came out with an evidence. Politicians are politicians. He will always try to defend the language, right? But he said something like that. So these are politicians. I don't, you know, when they say something, they forget. There is always going to be an evidence, right? So it wasn't that Ayo was making anything up. He said something like that. But what he was saying was, I didn't say my supporters, but I said that they should support the government that is in power right now. So what is the difference? It's the same thing. So, you know.
Just to correct Ike, what he was saying was that he did not say it before the election. It was after the election that he said, you know, this guy has won. You guys can, you know, this is the president. What can we do? You guys can support him. He's already the president. No, not before the election.
Yeah, I know. It's not before the election. I agree. But he said it. He didn't say it, but he was trying to deny everything. He was denying that he didn't say nothing.
We'll get there. We'll get to that when he comes here. We'll discuss that and we'll find the videos, because Ayo couldn't play the video. I thought that she had the video, that she could play the video, and that would have ended it. Anyway, we'll get to that. So let's go to our first topic.
Rudolph, I was going to add this to it. Perhaps it might be worth talking about briefly. Remember the Palestinian that's on the verge of being deported now?
Yes.
Warning to everybody with a green card. Don't think that because you have it, that they cannot revoke it and send you out of here. So
not just a green card, even citizens, because
even citizens, yes.
Yeah. That's what I talked about on Dr. Damages that will come out tomorrow. You have to, everybody must make sure, because these days nobody's safe in America. Democracy, the way we thought it was, you are free to, especially in America, you are free to air your view. It's no longer that way. If someone doesn't like your view, you could really be in trouble. And I don't want us to start with America. Look at what happened yesterday. If you go to all news organizations, they said it's unprecedented for the President of America to go to the Justice Department and deliver what basically is political speech, attacking people who work there. And, you know, we are going to a different territory. You know, the last time this happened was McCarthy era, and we're not here. Nobody here was around during that period. So we don't know what's going to happen in this country. So we should be careful, everybody. All right. Let's begin.
Doctor, I'm so sorry. On the soft side again, we should be very, very careful the way we talk to our people, because our people, when it comes to this immigration thing, we get scared a lot, and it's affecting us tremendously. We can't cut deals. You go tell people, let's do this thing. They say, no, 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 because they get scared. So when you talk all this thing, you see all type of funny rhetoric and every other thing. My daughter travel with Nigerian passport and come back with American passport. But you see all these things online. You understand? So we have to be very, very careful, because when we see all these things, it just causes panic. We can't come together like you see the Arabs do in the US to do anything. People just get scared. I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble. It slows us down, because individually, the way we do things here, we will not grow. We can only put food on our kids' table, or not even our grandkids' table, if we continue like this.
Yeah.
So let's also balance this thing, because our people get scared a lot when it comes to that. Thank you.
And also, yeah, thank you so much, Paul, for that. It's important to know when we talk about democracy, Nigeria, when Nigeria started, some people must have seen the video of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa when he came to America and that period. Nigeria started like every other democracy, but it's gradual. You start losing your freedom, and it's a gradual process. And people who live that period will not know. You allow one thing to lead to the other. And then, anyway, we're not talking about America. Let's go to the first topic, which will be Akpabio and Natasha. And that's, I think, KJ is excited about that. So for those who wanted to be updated on where we are, the Senate, finally, there was a meeting that happened. If you go to Premium Times, you can read more about that. There was a meeting that happened where they really attacked Akpabio for what they called fraudulent activities in terms of how they came up with that report. Senators were saying that they did not sign off on the report that was presented as their report, ethics committee report, and that Akpabio was destroying the name of the Senate, and so they had to go to a closed door session. During that meeting, it got heated up. They yelled at each other. And at the end, I think what we're now seeing is that they now agreed that they will bring back Natasha and Akpabio to do a proper investigation, hear from all of them, and then maybe come up with another decision about accusation of what happened. All right, KJ, let's start with you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph, again for bringing very exciting topics, and that will at least take away our sadness from what's going on in the Nigerian political space. One of the things probably we didn't mention is heightened Fulani attacks. Fulani herdsmen attack in Nigeria, which has gone haywire in the last 1 week. Yes, on Akpabio, when I had this new take that you brought in now, I was asking myself, okay, haven't passed a law where Ryan, you said she should not come close to the Senate ever until after 6 months. Her staff should not come near the Senate. Her key of the office should be handed over. Property belonging to the Senate should be handed over. And all that. You withdrew all that now. Have you now changed this law that will bring her close to the Senate before you now can invite her to come and give So you see that we are working with people who are totally deaf and dumb. They don't hear and they don't see. Okay? Now you passed this kind of law without even hearing from the woman. All because people are pandering to what the prayers that will be sent at the end of the month to your prayer boxes. So look, somebody said that the Senate president himself said that Natasha is embarrassing Nigeria. No, she's not embarrassing Nigeria. She's simply bringing to the international fora what you have been doing in the secret, what you think others are not seeing, what you think people are not hearing. So whether she's right or wrong, and I'm not saying here that she may be right in what she has said, and people are coming to the social media to say, give us evidence. So you think if I have a case with you, I will bring my evidence to the social media. Is the social media going to award are they going to judge it? When you finish judging it, are you going to give, I can't bring my evidence to the social media. I will keep it to my chest, because I know that once those evidence are made public, the opponent or your whatever, the defendant will take those things and run with it and find how to counter it. So it's no longer going to be an issue of, oh, you have this. You keep it until you get to the court of, that will make the required judgment, and you present your evidence there. That's why evidence is needed. What she has done right now, as far as I'm concerned, is good enough. She has insisted that she has her evidence, and at the proper time, she will introduce her evidence. Whether you like her or not, whether she has married 10 husbands or not, that is not your business. She didn't get to that place based on how many husbands she has married. She got to that place based on the fact that her people decided to bring her to the Senate to represent them. They have found her a worthy daughter of their community, irrespective of whatever she had done in the past. It's not your business. That's the person they chose to represent them. You have no right whatsoever to question her dressing, to question her character or disposition. It's not in your place. By the way, the last time I checked the Nigerian constitution, there's no junior senator and senior senator. The Senate president, as the law puts it, is just first among equals. So you could lose the position, because you are not voted to go to the Senate to become the Senate president. And that's why I felt a bit concerned that senators can be sitting and the Senate president will get up and say, my senators. And that's what he said last week. My senators know me. Who are your senators? They are not your senators. They are senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are just one of the people there. So these are how they begin to destroy the institutions that have been built over time. And before you know it, the Senate president now determines what's happening. Did you hear what he said, Dr. Rudolph? Did you hear what he said in one of his interviews? All the time we gave that
No.
he determines what is. He is the one who had the audacity to interpret the law in the Senate, and that the court of law in Nigeria has no right whatsoever to say whatever, to rule against them. So in other words, even the Constitution of Nigeria that gave you the power, you have also overruled them. So you now determine what happens. That is where we are in Nigeria. Anybody who thinks it's not dangerous is wasting his time. It's just a question of time. The roof will come caving in. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, KJ. We're hearing from Sahara Reporters is reporting that Akpabio will step down for this investigation to take place. So, which is something that should have happened. They don't need anybody.
If you don't mind, I'll just add a little bit. You see, Akpabio was sitting on a keg of a gunpowder. If I were him, when this thing came up, I would have been more deliberate and more strategic. They have been looking, other people, and I don't want to mention them, but eventually maybe somebody will be bold enough to say that. I'm not going to call the names. There are people in the house who have been looking for an opportunity to remove him. And this is what they've got, and they're going to play to the last. So if he's a good politician, let him begin to prepare, because the game just started. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Paul. Paul, you are next. I'll give you 3 minutes so that we can get to a lot of people are here. We need to get to as many people as possible in 1 hour. Paul, go ahead.
Okay. Doctor, let me wear my old man cap. I know I'm still young, so young old man. My daughter traveled. So this funny thing where they literally bully us a lot. We that live in the West that raise kids here. They're quick to remind us that our kids don't have respect. They don't know the culture. So my daughter saw his uncle and greet his uncle. Good morning, sir. Oh, you don't have respect, that, this and that. It's okay to correct the girl. It's okay. But when you also report and you come tell me that my daughter did this and that, my daughter did greet you, but didn't greet you with my culture. Thank God Flagship is here, who is also my fellow brother. The way we greet as an Orobo, we kneel down and say Migwo ma or Migwo sa. And the meaning of Migwo simply means I come down for you, which is completely different from the Igbo culture, the Yoruba prostrate and every other thing. And this person tells me, I tell the person, thank you for lecturing me and lecturing my daughter. But you yourself, when you greet me, you never kneel down. This same person, so you too, who happen to be custodian of this same culture and tradition, did you ever one day kneel down and greet me? And you know it, at least my daughter don't know it, at least I didn't raise my daughter well. So you see the problem that we're having in our country. These senators, they make all this mistake because they've enjoyed these things for many years. You don't question constitutional authority, the former governor of Oyo State. You understand? So that's the mindset. That's why they keep making all these flocks, because they already have it in their mind that they'll do these things, nobody will question them. So it was shocking to this, my cousin, when I also remind him that you two, you never kneel down. So you two, you don't even understand the culture. It was shocking. But to him now, you know the way he's seeing it? He's seeing it like I'm supporting my daughter. Failing to understand that he himself break this same thing that is trying to correct my daughter. So that's the thing. So they expect, you can see the signature, attendance signature, they use it. They do all type of nonsense because in their mind, they didn't believe anybody will question anything. That is just the mindset. That's why they went ahead, they rush, they do the fire brigade approach because they know they're going to get away with it. Like Jim Wobodo will talk, say, minority, we have their say. But anyway, majority, we have their way. So they have that mindset for a very long time that we're still going to have our way. Let them talk. You understand? They're just a bully pair. They will just talk. Then we'll give them another thing to talk. Then they forget. Then they start the new topic. That is just the mindset. But truth be told, we can never run a nation that way. That's my take for now.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's go to Chim. Chim, you're next.
Thanks for having me, Rudolph, and compliments to everyone. I want to start first and foremost with, I think there's a story, I don't know if it's comical or just the guy who predicted that Akpabio was going to be accused of sexual this thing, pastor, the man who said if people voted for APC, that they will suffer. That man, so there's a video making around that he predicted.
The prophet.
Yeah, the prophet. He's an apostle. That's what he calls him.
Apostle from Lagos State. Yeah, somewhere in Lagos.
So I don't know. I watched it and I was wondering if this is real or stage managed. But apparently they said he made that prediction in 2024 that the Senate president should watch out that he's going to get involved in a sexual scandal and he won't survive it. So if he won't survive it and they're coming now and telling me that he's been told to step down, he might not come back. I'm hoping he doesn't. So anyway, what do I know? But back to Senator Natasha. You see why it's good for us to always talk and make this noise. Somebody says we should elevate the level of the discourse. We're elevating it. People are hearing. And if people had not been asking, if you remember, there's been a resounding word. How can Akpabio sit in judgment in his own case? How can Akpabio sit in judgment? Everybody says it. Everybody. So I'm not bought by this whole new effort to now suddenly go back and redo what they were supposed to have done in the first instance. Because in the first instance, if somebody is accused, he'd have recused himself. The ethics committee would have invited both of them, asked, interrogated them, make sense of it, collect evidences, and then pass judgment. They didn't do any of that because the leader of the ethics committee had already come out to pass this judgment. Now, when his skeleton started flying all over the internet, I'm sure he got embarrassed. And then people started asking, how can Akpabio sit in judgment in his own case? Now they suddenly want to go back. You see, our Senate has become a den. I think it's a cult. I think there's this cult-like tendency for everybody who goes to the Senate, including the ladies who are there. Because you see, it brings me to one other point I want to make. I've always said it that it takes rough people to change the system. No gentleman, if there's all gentlemen here, none of these gentlemen here is going to change Nigeria. It's going to take a wacko, a very wacko human being. And Senator Natasha suddenly is that wacko person today who has decided to do the rough with them. So I concur with KJ. I'm not going to judge her on her. It's not of my business whether she has 10 husbands or has only 2. It's not her 10 husbands that brought her to the Senate. You understand? So everybody has their private life to live and their morals. That's purely up to them. I've always been an advocate of let people's morality stay with them. I only get offended when you want to force down your morality on me. That's where I have a problem. I don't have a problem with who you marry, how you deal with your private life. It's up to you. But so long as you don't legislate that life, that's where I have a problem. So I think if eventually this battle is won and it gets to change a couple of things, then I think Senator Natasha needs to be congratulated for the progress she has made. So I'm going to end by simply saying that let's keep making noise. when people hear the popular axiom, correct me if I might not be able to say it exactly the correct way. They say what it takes for evil to continue is for good men to just keep quiet. But when people constantly make noise and talk, yeah, we might not have, but keep bringing the issue to the front burner, it has a way of putting a hit on those in governance, and they begin to scamper and look for a way to hide themselves. So if they're suddenly going back to review it, hopefully they will review it appropriately, because right now I'm still skeptical. They might still go and review it and come up with a wishy-washy outcome. But if they're going to review it properly, then it's been worth the fight. Nobody is going to say that it's not been worth the fight. It's been worth the fight. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Femi. Femi, next, what's your take?
Yeah, so on Thursday, you would recall, for those of us that saw, that followed the news that came out of the Senate as of that day, that Akpabio himself and one Senator, I think Solomon Adiola, also Ariola, were the first two to have condemned Apoti going to the Interparliamentary is it union they call it now. But in the ensuing is it rejoinder now? I think it was Adiola that specifically mentioned one Kafila Topara. I think she's an honorable as well. I don't even know how many honorables are females in the House of Representatives, but definitely not that much. She actually gave her own reply to the appearance of Apoti. And again, I find it disturbing when women keep going against their own interests willy-nilly, you know. But that said, something else that, and of course, there was also the fact that Senator Yemi Bamidele kept alluding to the fact that it's causing so much distraction, rightfully so. And that's why on Thursday they introduced the bill, what's it called? They tried to ramp up support for Akpabio. I mean, that was something that was made the rounds during the week, as if anybody asked them whether they were campaigning for their loyalty to him. Who does not know that they're all rubber stamps, whether they're in LP, PDP, or they're all collecting the prayers anyway. Now that said, the final thing I was going to add was, you know how all of a sudden when situations come up in Nigeria, you start seeing all kind of mushroom groups coming up as civil society organizations. There's one particular organization I saw. The name is so long I can't even recall the beginning parts. It's the interesting part is that it was two men that called the press conference in the NUJ Secretariat in Abuja. And part of what they mentioned, there was something that actually I had to write it down. They were like, ordinarily, and I quote them, ordinarily we would have ignored this matter, especially as the Senate, in conformity with standing rules, has addressed it. I don't understand what that means. But a woman crime victimization is like a sheep found in lion's den. This is how we are in Nigeria. Nobody wants to care for the fact that something as significant as this has happened until it comes closer to home. When it happens to other people, that's when we realize how weighty and how important some of these things are to be discussed. I'll keep it there for now.
All right. Thank you, Femi. The flagship. Yes.
Thank you, Rudolph. Let me start by saying this. Democracy, as simply defined, is a government for the people, of the people, and by the people. The key word there is the people. 3 times it's mentioned. And government, if you want to address it as a noun or verb, it's only mentioned once. Nigerians should be aware of that. I thought to start with that. Paul's example that he gave actually explains what I was going to say. So thank you for that, Paul. It's really an insight to what is going on in our Senate. You see, what took place at the IPU when Senator Dwaga ran there to complain is what the normal process should have been in our Senate in Nigeria. But because of ignorance, incompetency, lack of knowledge, understanding of due process, and what it means to be a senator and sit in that hallowed chamber, the folks that we have there now jumped into conclusion, came out with the report that they have, and the suspension that followed thereafter. So hats off to Senator Odwaga. When change wants to take place, it really doesn't come from where we expect it sometimes. And it may even come from a person that we least expect that it will come through, regardless of who that person is, what their status is, what they've achieved in life, and whatever it is that they control. They may be a nobody. A lot of the revolutionary processes that took place in the past in history started with people who were nobodies. And great changes were enacted that took place and benefited the lives of the people of those countries. So here's what I have to say. It's not enough for the Nigerian Senate to say, we're going to bring Senator Odwaga and Senator Akpabio back to conduct an investigation. Here's what I have to say. I think that's a good move. It's what they should have done in the beginning to save the remaining little dignity that we had before it all got blown out on the global stage. Here's my proposition. Number one, they have to throw away that suspension that they gave to Senator Odwaga. Number two, they have to issue an apology to her for wrongly judging the situation and hitting it with the hardest hammer that they have in the Senate by taking away her rights, privileges, and all that is due to her as a senator. They jumped the gun. Number three, the Ethics and Privileges Committee chairman needs to step down. He cannot be a part of this investigation. Number four, those that are in the Ethics and Privileges Committee now need to be removed and a new set put together in order for this investigation to be conducted properly and without any form of bias. Then number five, of course, Akpabio needs to step down before this process can continue. If we do this, then maybe we can, by some fashion, try to show to the world that, yes, we do make mistakes. We may not be knowledgeable in all the processes, protocols, and procedures in what we do, but here's what we can do. We learn from our mistakes, we can correct them, and get on the right path and make things work the right way. If they do this, then I think maybe we'll be heading in a path where we can get, where we can get some of our dignity back. Because as it stands right now, it's in shambles and it's nothing to write home about. So I'm hoping that they will do that and begin the process of conducting a proper investigation, and whoever is found guilty should face what the law demands of them. I'll stop there for now.
All right, thank you, the flagship. After we go around, flagship has an announcement that we want to make. But so let me finish up with this topic before we go to the next topic. Tony, you're next.
Greetings, everybody, and those who are listening. Great to be on the platform today. Yes, I have been listening to the discussion, and I think everybody has spoken well. My problem, actually, with the current situation, to reinvestigate the Aputi Senate President Rubio, Senate investigating itself, is that First of all, I think the dramatic personnel are still the same thing. The Senate president is still there as the primus inter pares. The committee members are still there. The senators who voted for the disciplinary measure against Akpoti are still there. So my wonder is if this is just a make-believe, because for the Senate to say that they want to carry out a fresh investigation means that there is an admittance that things have not been properly done. They haven't said that, but that is the optics. How fair is it going to be when we still have the same people who are still going to investigate? I don't know. So I am not very optimistic that anything will come out of this. But personally, I think it shows the strength of public opinion that if we put pressure on these people, they will buckle. Have seen or read that some people who were members of the committee, were quite not in sync with the outcome, and that their signatures were forged or something like that. But again, I doubt, because usually in committees like that, there's a minority report. So if for any reason you didn't agree, the minority report would come out to say, look, this is our position, we don't agree. And there was no time that issue was pushed. We only had this after the decisions had been made. So I think there's a crack, there's something happening that we don't know. We don't know the entire story. But it's good that, a fresh look at this allegation is being looked at. My hope is that, just like Flagship said, I see on the part of, this is my view, I just feel that the people who will be lobbying to ensure that the Senate is not smeared, is not disgraced, because how is it going to be if they come out with an entirely different outcome? But all said and done, I think it's good that the Senate is taking a look at itself again. And we just hope for the best.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Let me again say what we know at this point. This is how the committee sitting happened from different sources, and you can see it on Premium Times and other places. They came for the meeting, and most of them were not there. They signed in and left. And then the people who delivered the plan came in, used the signing list and signatures, attached it to the report, went to Akpabio's office and typed it out and gave it to Akpabio and the people in the Senate and read it out. So the people who were members were embarrassed that their names were put in the report that they did not see, they did not approve, and it was read out to the Senate chamber. That was the story. And then Sahara is reporting now that this new plan is simply to say, we gave you fair hearing. And then after that, they will suspend Natasha indefinitely. So that's the new plan. All right.
But Rudolph, don't you think that, I'm sorry, my apologies. One fast. If that's what really happened, then it's a joke.
Of
because
course.
Your signature, you're appending your signature on that document automatically says you approved it. Your presence is there. That's your signature. This is why I say that the level of incompetence amongst our folks is bewildering. It's strange.
Yeah, but what they are saying, the report is that they did not sign. They signed attendance. They get paid for sitting allowance. So when you come in, you sign your name that you were here. And because the meeting didn't start at 2, it didn't start at 3, it didn't start at 4, most of the people that came left. And then the people that planned the thing came in at 5 had their meeting, agreed on something they already agreed to, put it out, use the attendance list as approval list.
But that's a point where they would have communicated if the meeting didn't start at the scheduled time, that since this meeting did not start at this time, we are moving a motion to move it if everybody is not here, and make it known then, not after the fact.
Yeah, but
I think Rudolph, if I may weigh in on that, then that it means there's also fraud in this, which is an ethical issue. That's why these people, where have they been? How many weeks has this been going on? Why didn't somebody at that point raise this matter?
That's a good point. But they're all afraid of Fabio. They're all afraid of the president. That's how it's structured. Everybody's afraid of whoever is the president of the Senate. So we are not getting the real. So it's not that we're getting the real story of what is happening within the Senate, because they can suspend you and there's nothing you can do. People get scared. They can put you in a bad committee. They can remove you from any committee. They can remove privileges, and that's why they don't talk. All right, let's round up and everybody get everybody's view and move on to the next. IQNS, go ahead.
Well, I hope there are times and seasons for everything, on the surface of the earth. Most of the time, we think that we're going to die with the evils we have done, but sometimes we don't die with them. Sometimes it's exposed before we go. So there are times and seasons for everything. If what my brother Flagship said, if those things can be done, I think that is the starting point. I completely 100% agree with what Flagship said. And also, like Dr. Rudolph said, I do recognize that these people that are representing you and me, it's like a court. They're afraid, like Dr. Rudolph said. If the signatures of the members of the committee were taken to add to the list of the people who convicted this Senator Natasha, why their signature was because they came in as sitting allowance, because they have to collect their sitting allowance normally. Whether they do anything or not, if you come for 5 minutes, you're still going to get your sitting allowance. If it was what was used to put as a signature of the people that say she is guilty, and it is after all this thing has exploded and escalated to the point that the woman went to Geneva, it's not that they say no.
She went to New York, not Geneva. She was
okay, New York. Oh no, my signature, I did not sign it. My signature was about appearing and who is surprised? All of us are Nigerian. Who is surprised with the story? Another thing I want to draw before I give somebody else the opportunity, because you said we don't have time. If actually what is written in the newspaper you just showed us is true, that probably maybe he will. But I hope that he steps down. But if he doesn't, do we have any system to force him to step down? No. As long as the president is with him, what can you do? If the president now is the judge in Nigeria, he's the judiciary, he's the police, he's the military, he's the National Assembly, he's everything. Whatever he says and decides is what happens. So we don't have a choice. We only keep, believing that someday, like somebody, a wacko man or wacko woman will tear the country apart, so that things will begin to work. If not, the president decide if he wants Fabio to go now, he will only tell him, my friend, listen, you get out of there tomorrow. He doesn't have a choice. But if he's with him, what can we do? Thank you, my brother.
All right. Thank you, Ike. Jefferson, you're next.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks for granting me the audience on this show. So, this is a very lovely topic, Duterte and Fubara and all that. But of course, the subject matter is the Napoti situation. As humans, we all have our own individual codes, conduct, how we do things, right? It's not news that in the Nigerian context, women are not respected. But when it comes to the highest office, like that of the legislative, everyone is playing on equal playing field, because a senator is a senator, whether you are the president or the chief whip, so everybody is equal. So first of all, I do not subscribe to what happened in the incident. of how she was disrespected, then how she was then punished for 6 months and all of that. But one thing I love that she did was the fact that she reported it at the UN. When she reported that incident in the UN, it became a global issue. And don't forget, to Nigeria is facing a backlash under the under Trump's administration. And then to add to it now, and then to add to it now, assistance, with the recent news we are getting here, people are now being speculated that, I signed, I didn't sign. It's medicine after that. And don't also forget to, I think it should be Senator Yemi, I got in the particular Senate, spoke in the Senate after the incident, letting them know that, look, we are going down the drain. A fellow senator like him told Apabo in the field that, look, don't act as if you're going to be here forever. After your tenure, you're going to be like everybody else, like a bench warmer, in the sense that, look, we must do what is right and regain our dignity. Even if you do other bedroom or whatever, if you do other things in the other room or have any extra marital affairs or do whatever you want to do in your personal life, you should bring it to the Senate. You know, let's understand that all those excesses is becoming too much and they are disrespecting the House. And people need to understand that there should be some level of decorum. I love the fact that that senator told the Fabio in the face without fear or favor that, look, that this way we are going is not right. And then as regard people being afraid, we don't want to go too far. During the time of Buhari, everybody was afraid. And they were acting based on, anything we had a Senate where anything that happens, Buhari wants to do, they'll just pass. So it's almost like a similar situation. But I'm glad that people are speaking out. And I'm also glad that they're going to understand that, look, it's no longer, you can't just have your way all the time. My wish that let Apabio face the draw or the law court and understand that he needs to, and then he needs to understand that women needs to be respected. And there's someone that made something a mention about what they want to do in terms of punishing regards what they did to Senator Apoti. They need to understand again that, look, women, they need to pass a law where women needs to be respected, not just in the legislative, in all arms of government and in offices. I think that law needs to be looked into. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jefferson. Prince Akwachi, you are next.
To Damages, it looks like you wanted to make me the last speaker, huh? Because I could see your rotation. I see the way you were just, or was it forefather that were doing that? Forefather, really. I'ma come for you. Don't worry, I'ma come for you at the right time. Dr. Damages, good morning. Good morning, forefathers. Good morning, KJ. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Chim. Good morning, Femi. Good morning. Oh man, just Mr. Ike and every other person on the panel, and also the commenters. The person I actually wanted to face, I was gonna face him, but hearing him speak right now, I think I'm gonna dive down a little bit, was Tony. Because the view Tony was expressing right now, Mr. Tony is expressing, wasn't what he was expressing the other time. We were trying to tell him that what this woman is alleging is sexual harassment and not rape. Because he was hinging his own conclusion based on, that the woman lied to the husband, that the woman didn't provide any evidence, that the woman didn't do all that and that. You know, just the whole thing he was saying, I was so furious that day, but for some reason, let me just let it go. A shameful thing that I will, get out of this is first, somebody like Reno Mockery should be the least, the goat looking man like that should be the least to talk about somebody lying and somebody not lying. Because if I could count how many times Reno has lied I don't think he should be speaking at all. He shouldn't even talk at all and go and hide himself somewhere. Talking about okay, there is one thing that pains me so much is that when they do all these their shenanigans, they always try to look for one Igbo man to push. There is this guy, he calls himself an expert. I think he's something Chibuzo or whatever it is. He was on Perspective today. This man so disgraced himself, trying to defend the indefensible. Talking about how it is that he studied policy or politics or whatever it is that he said it, and that he's an expert. And a lawyer is telling him that the Constitution of Nigeria supersedes that whatever it is that they have in the Senate. That the judge said, hold on. He didn't say that the committee cannot hold. He only said, give me till so day, and then you guys can continue. He did not say that indefinitely that they cannot hold the investigation or that Natasha cannot be investigated. The chairman of the Committee on Ethics, the shameless man, the man that's been banned from New York, but he goes to Nigeria to become a senator. What a shame. In shame, they shame me. To the extent that they showed his streets, and he came the other day to lie. Now it took Arise TV to go and also investigate to find out that the person who brought it out from the first time was telling the truth. Because he said, oh, that's not his street. But then when to the extent that when Arise went, they even saw cows were moving along the streets. As if they are the one. I don't know if that place is ranch, that they train ranch. My street in my village is better than that one, because that one is Benin City that he's on, and look at how it is as a senator. But he collects money for constituency projects and all that kind of a thing. I love the fact that Natasha has taken it to IPU, even if not for nothing, for the fact that the world now sees our Senate for the shame they are bringing to themselves and bringing to the country. I will not dwell so much on it. I don't. Akpabio is always gonna be Akpabio. I knew him when he was governor at what do you call it, Akwa Ibom. I used to go to Akwa Ibom then, and I know the kind of things that man were doing. So let him continue to fool himself all around. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Rudolph, I was going to say to Mazi Prince, if you meant insult to Reno by calling him a goat, I don't think he would take offense at that, because the meaning of his
name is small goat.
That's exactly what it is.
The meaning of his name, Omokri, is small goat in Urobo.
It's small.
No, it's the Shekiri man. It's not a Urobo. So let me just balance it. It's not an Urobo man. It's from Shekiri. But Omokri is small goat.
Right. And he looks like one too.
Rudolph, can I just make just a little comment? Prince Apochi, I think you got me all wrong, because my intervention has always been on the area of procedure. So I don't know if you listen to me properly. I think you are entirely wrong. And the reference that you made to rape or whatever, I have been very, very deliberate in not commenting on people's character or behavior when we had that discussion. I made an allusion to the issue of whether she told the husband or not, because Rudolph asked me a question, and that was how that came in. But I think you're totally wrong in your categorization of what I said. My stand is on procedure, and what I've spoken today is in relation to the committee's report. So I'm not contradicted myself in any way. I think you'll probably go and play the tape again, and you'll get it.
Okay, right. Rudolph, if you give me just one 30 seconds. Listen, some people are saying that Mrs. Natasha gave a false listener against Reno. No, you have not followed the development. So sometimes I advise you, before you come and put up an argument, follow the development to the point that is there. She has brought evidence to show that Mr. Omokri was being disingenuous by saying that he wasn't in the country, because she showed her his passport and the stamping of his going out but not returning. So if you the dates for which she accused him, which he said he wasn't in the country, didn't reflect in his international passport. This evidence are there. If you want, we can download the video for you to watch if you have not watched it. That was what she. You see, I say this again. Nobody who has a court case bring your evidence to the public domain to come and display. You wait until because no matter what we agree here, it's not going to change the status quo. Okay, so you wait until you go to the court, then you present your evidence. You don't expect me to bring my evidence to the social media. Are you going to give me judgment? You're not going to give me judgment. So I wait for the place where the judgment will be binding on you, and I'll go there with my evidence and show it. That's what I would say to that. So please, let's not make it look as if no, both of them have presented their sides. It's left for you to choose which one you think is correct or not. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Prince, we have to go, but 30 seconds.
I know, just a second. And also, in addition to what KJ said, right? One thing Reno needs to understand, that sexual harassment doesn't need your presence. It could be something you said on the phone. It could be something you said on the phone. You understand? It doesn't have to be, a physical contact or another kind of a thing. And Mr. Tony, I'm not gonna argue with you, but like I said, thank God that you've changed. I think you've come out clearer now, which is better. Okay, whatever I heard then, I heard it clear, and I heard you talking about policy or whatever it is not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is what they did to the woman. That's all, and the process that they took. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Prince. Forefathers, Yones.
Greetings, Dr. Damages, and thank you for having me. Greetings, all the panelists. Greetings to the chat and to the viewers. For one, I will start with what I'm not very, I don't necessarily support of her going to foreign organizations to go and lay down our issues, knowing full well that these organizations clearly they don't mean well for us. I don't know what it means that somebody will feel the sense that going to the UN will ever solve anything for Nigeria. It will never do that. The only thing that you're going to do is give them ammunition against us. That's all you're going to end up doing. And the fact that she didn't do that, the fact that she didn't know that, given that she's already aware of the issues with Ajaokuta still, is very concerning. In terms of the accusations are meant to be investigated and ascertained. And if that investigation comes out that Akpabio is guilty, yes, he should step down. But we shouldn't just, and like I said, she's more likely to be believed, even with all the Omokri stuff. Even if they said they proved that Omokri was away from the country, it still doesn't mean that she's lying now. So I'm more likely to believe that what she's saying than not. But without evidence, you have a problem. If you are in the Nigerian space and you know that men are fond of sexually harassing women, you should have ways of collecting evidence of that behavior. If you really want to use it, bring it out. You have a way of collecting evidence. I'm a little bit disappointed that there is no evidence that has come out to prove her statement, because he said, she said, and you can't bring down a whole official of a state because of his said, she said. You have to have evidence for it. And I think Akpabio, the way he handled it was not good. He should have recused himself from the case, not from being a senator. Recuse himself from the case and allow the other senators to investigate the matter. It's a relatively simple matter to handle. But obviously, we have a way of creating a kerfuffle from a simple issue because somebody has something to hide. Maybe it's Akpabio, for all we know, or maybe it's her, for all we know. The fact that she ended up, for me, her going to that institutions outside has given me pause now. Because when you are doing stuff and you see all these NGOs that show up from nowhere, we have to ask ourselves some serious questions. What is going on here? I don't care for Akpabio's politics. As a matter of fact, I like our own policies more. Senator Akpoti's policies I like. But you have to, just because you're on the side of somebody doesn't mean don't ask questions. We have to question everybody. We don't know who is who in Nigeria. Somebody might be good today. They walk into a room and they're compromised the next day. How do you know that? How do you know they are not compromised? That's why you have to keep questioning every single action they take. Every single one. I like everything she's done, but I don't like, suddenly I see her in the UN, dragging Nigeria out to the UN. She knows who those people represent. Why did she do that? Nigerians already supported her. She didn't need to go and do that anymore. She would have actually gotten a result within Nigeria, especially if she's innocent and
hold
guilty.
Hold on. How would she? There was a senator who was suspended because he came out in the Senate to say that they padded the budget. All of you did nothing, and the man was suspended for 6 months. I don't know how long he spent, and nothing happened out of that. So what do you expect people to do?
People are going out and making representations for her, including myself. And in terms of going to the UN, it's not going to change anything. The only thing it's going to do is create problem for your country.
No, I don't think.
That's what I see.
I'm not involved in this. Let me hear your views. But the point is this:
we are not learning from history. Then
if not that Natasha took, I think her advocacy for herself was what led to the changes we are seeing here. If not for that, it would have been swept off and over, and she will go back 6 months from now. And
so you're happy that foreigners are telling our leaders what to do?
Well, you guys didn't do anything about it.
We didn't get a chance to do anything about it. If you have a mindset of a people that takes their own nation and go and sell them out overseas, you are going to have problems. If you think it is not going to end with Akpoti, it's going to, some other person is going to do it, other people are going to do it, they are going to undermine our own people. That is what kills a nation.
Can I say something?
KJ, go ahead.
Now, Mr. Forefather, there have been several senators and House of Rep members who have raised critical questions concerning governance in Nigeria, and they were suspended. I'll give you the last one was the guy who raised the question of the pardon of the state. Abdul, who is invariably a colleague of mine. Okay, now in the university. Now, what am I saying? Nobody. He suffered alone. He was suspended. Every of his privileges are taken away. Nobody asked me a question. He came back and he learned. Did you listen to the interview or watch the interview that he gave when he came back? He's never going to do it again. So he's not going to be on the side of those who say, if you want us to divide, let's divide it. You see, if Natasha didn't go to the length she went, and for the social media to keep the pressure on, it would have been another issue gone by the wind, because majority of people have already bought in to say we are on the side of the Senate leader. She was being disgraceful. She was not following the rules of the Senate, and that was it. And that would have been it. Let me tell you, if go back and I'm sorry, I'm taking a bit more time than I thought. Go back to the Senate ruling. They simply mean that she's no longer a senator. That's the end of it. By the time she's coming back, it's over a year, and the tenure will have been finished. So there's nothing like that. They wanted her back. That's why they received everything that belongs to her, that belongs to the Senate. They call it back and say your staff shouldn't come near the National Assembly. Herself cannot introduce herself as a senator. Who does that? Where? In which nation?
I don't agree with that. That's my point. We've all
to represent them. You come to the Senate and say she should not call herself.
You've made your point. You've made your point.
Okay,
let me finish my point.
Let's see, man of prestige.
Let me finish my point now, because you do not agree with my point now. They want to shut it off.
Go ahead.
Everybody's saying the same thing. How many people need to say the same thing over and over again? See, the point is that what she has done is not the way to go about it. If you wanted to change Nigeria, she built that road. Even when people were opposing her, she ended up where she wanted to go to. They tried to stop her from becoming a senator. They blocked the road and everything. She still ended up where she wanted. She didn't even need the UN to do that. If we don't understand the danger of taking our own nation outside, we think those people are going to help you. Whatever they are going to do, believe you me, there will be consequence for your nation. How can you not know that? It's not free. If you cannot pick that one up, nobody can help you. I can assure you of that.
All right, thank you, Forefathers. Hold on. I want to go to man of prestige.
Please, I'm not going to take time. I just want to say just one sentence, please. So, basically, what I was going to say in response to what forefathers said was the fact that whether we like it or not, it's clear that the world knows how bad certain things are in Nigeria. AP and Reuters reported this thing extensively. Make that make sense in respect of what we're talking about. He didn't even need to take it out. Everybody knows. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So just to,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hold on, man of prayer. I want forefathers to think about this because we'll come back to this. I want to hear his thinking about that. So in Congo, there's been war going on there for many years. In Somalia, in Sudan, South Sudan. This is an African problem. Africa is not doing anything about it. The day other countries will come in, and forefathers will tell me why they're going to other countries to solve the problem. You have to understand that. I want you to think about it, not now. I want man of Presi to answer, then you can think about it. Because it's easy to say, don't go anywhere. If they are killing you, don't go anywhere. Why is the US Congress talking about killing of Christians in Nigeria? What has your government done to stop the killing of people? You have to ask that question. So anyway, man of Presi, go ahead.
Father, you would have just tell us what you expect her to do. Not only blaming, just tell us what you expect her to do.
All right.
At this case.
Hold on. Good morning, everybody. And it's good. Okay, it's good afternoon on Dr. Damage area, Eastern time. So afternoon over there, and it's morning here, close to being afternoon. Anyway, so I greet everybody on the platform. I'm not going to mention them. Everybody here is greeted. Let me start with where forefather start. I think I beg to differ with forefather. I mean, you have so much concern about going to the UN. I mean, this is social media age. So everything that's happening in Nigeria, they are aware of it. So going over there, enlightening about what's going on in Nigeria, I don't have any issue with that. You did the right thing, in my own opinion. So you are concerned about what's going on in Nigeria, your daily laundry being out there. It's already out there. I don't know why you're so much concerned about that. It doesn't even make any sense. So I agree with her. Like Dr. Rudolph said, that may be what has manifested for what they are doing right now. I don't even know what they are doing right now if it's going to make any headway. It might just be a charade, but at least it's a step in the right direction. If it didn't go there, I bet you nothing would have happened. And it just right now, the USA Congress, has advised Trump to put a sanction on Nigeria because of the killing of the Christians. So that one is gathering momentum. We might be sanctioned. And you here talking about, we've been talking about the killing of the Christians. I mean, everybody died in Nigeria, but if you look at the north, Southern Kaduna, Benue, and everything, it's like, it's like ethnic cleansing in that area. Until actually go to the UN, now we can get a result. So Trump may sanction you. So I think you are wrong in that narrative. I'm not going to label everything that's happening. I think my main fault is that the judiciary in that country. I mean, there has been an example. I think some house of rep from Bauchi, went to court, and they didn't remove the person because the court said you can't remove him. So my problem I have, why can't they wait until the court decide? Why are they in a rush? I know there has been a lot of people that was suspended. Maybe that's their rule, and some of them have been banned, like Otto and Zeribe from Imo State. I mean, from somewhere in Imo State. So they have a right according to the constitution, in the chamber there to do that. When a court say don't do it, do we have rule of law in that country? This is the problem I have. Don't remove her, don't suspend her yet. And then, if the Senate cannot abide by the law, what do you expect from ordinary people to do? So that's my main issue I have. But I'm glad, the situation is where we are right now. Everybody has spoken, so there's no need of laboring the whole thing. That's all I have for now.
All right, thank you. Okay, forefathers, respond, and then we go to, I'll bring in the flagship to help us.
Yeah, thank you for that. See, like I gave examples where she faced adversities in Nigeria and she overcame them without needing to go outside. As a matter of fact, by doing this, she may have even undermined herself further with our fellow politicians. See, you have to understand, look at, even the security forces will be worried. They said they themselves are just as corrupt and compromised. Because if you are not compromised, you'll be wondering, this one that she's gone to these people. Tomorrow, maybe I should just share this information with her. I don't know who else she's going to share it with. So if a nation takes themselves overseas, like if you're in the UK now, politician take herself into the UN, People don't like that. They will not treat you properly. They will ostracize you because they see you as a threat to the national security of that nation. And I think her being within Nigeria did her a lot of good. Now, her going overseas is just going to put her like on the outside of things already. She's faced problems in Nigeria before and she's overcame them. I don't see why she needed to go overseas. There's the ECOWAS, this in organization. There's African Union. There are organizations there. If you think these organizations are useless, the UN is also useless. But they are useful in the sense that you go to foreign nations, Western ones are present there. You are sharing information with them about your nation. There's no need for that. Personally, I just feel like it's not very productive for her to be doing that, because if you completely disregarded African countries, you disregarded ECOWAS, she disregarded the African Union. None of them. The only difference between those organizations and the African ones is that they have Oyibo people there. That is not good.
All right.
That's my point.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Damage, let me make an announcement. It's very important for the audience. Just a second. It's something that has to do with the credit. So I'm not going to give you the company or wherever you have to go, because I'm not privileged to do that. On the 17th of this month, anybody that has a hospital bill, it's not going to be on your credit score anymore. It's already passed in the Congress, beginning on the 17th of this month. So if you see anything on your credit that has to do with hospital bill, we know about credits, about 60% of bad credits come from the hospital bill. Any kind of medical bill. So as of the 17th, which is next week.
Are you trying to say Trump is bad? Are you trying to say Trump is bad?
Thank you.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No, thank you, Madam President. About that.
Very good thing, Father. Very good thing, not bad.
But it wasn't Trump that did it, and it was.
I was going to say that to Dr. Damages. Yeah,
and also,
it was under Biden.
In New York, we don't have that problem. It's all these conservative states that we saved from that.
Yeah, even in some states like Texas, it depends. It depends on the state too. Yeah.
But I wanted to play for forefathers, our national security advisor, meeting white people, the people you are afraid of, telling them we have problems, come and help us. So I don't know what you are talking about. But anyway, let's not go there. I believe that we have seen it, that video.
Doctor, we they import Bisco and Banga into our country and we get military men. I don't know what forefather is talking about. Bisco, Bisco back in the days? Knockout.
Advisor,
we
come
import
and help
them.
us, please.
Dr. Damages, I also thought that having Tinubu, some of us actually agreed that Tinubu is a compromise. So I don't know how Apoti is compromised and Tinubu is not compromised.
All right, so let's so Flagship has something that he wants to announce. Tell us about something that have been going on, planning for the time for a while now. So we just came together. So Flagship, go ahead.
Thank you, Rudolph. I wish the U.S. government would include student loans. That's the next thing. Yeah. Well, the ladies, for those in the comment section, and gentlemen on the panel, and everybody else that's watching. Last year, Rudolph did indicate that it would be a nice thing if we all come together and have a summit or symposium where we can discuss and talk about these things, not just for the sake of talking about it, but to advance plans that would help us. Those of us here in the diaspora that we can put together and take home and hopefully help to alleviate the problems or suggest solutions back home. But it has to start from us. And beyond these screens that we're all looking at ourselves at, we want to bring it or take it a step further. So we agreed Atlanta is going to host it. And we have met, we have made arrangements, and the first summit is going to happen here in Atlanta. The date is going to be July 26th. And we have some guests that will be inviting or that will be coming. I spoke with one personally, and he's agreed to be here. But I'll leave that for Rudolph to announce. So here's the breakdown so far. We have a location. We actually have two locations, but I've narrowed it down to one because it has a banquet hall that can seat every one of us. Plus, it's a hotel where we can also get accommodation. The cost for the banquet hall has been covered. The cost of food has been covered. and that's by those of us in Atlanta here. I don't know if it's okay to mention names, but
you can. I think they're okay. I think it's okay.
Okay. Well, food and the banquet hall has been covered by myself and Kene. We have taken care of that. I have met with the property, the hotel property is Hilton Atlanta Northeast, and I've made an arrangement. We have blocked out per the contract that we are going to be signing. I haven't gone ahead to sign it yet. That's why I'm here to let us know first, but the date has been secured. We've blocked out 20 rooms. We have the banquet hall for that date. But we need, the hall seats a minimum of, well, anywhere from 50 or rather 100 to 300. So it's quite big. But here's where we are. We want to have those that want, it's open to everybody, not just those here in Atlanta. It's open to anyone globally that's watching this right now that want to attend. The cost for your hotel will be on you. Your transportation, of course, will be on you. But the banquet hall is covered. We have reserved rooms. We are going to get the reservation codes. We'll make that available as soon as we get it all penned and inked. So when you call, you can make your reservations to reserve your room. The rate that we got it for is $149 a night for the hotel room for everyone that wants to attend. So, Rudolph, you want me to talk about the guests, or you want to talk about...
do. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, we have Rufai Oseni. He's going to be the main speaker at this symposium. I spoke with him. He's agreed to be here on the 26th, actually 25th, 26th will be the 2 dates. Oseni Rufai will be here. We're still also having, Rudolph is doing that, but Dr. Franklin Obueze, and also, what's his name? The gentleman from...
we are going to, it's not finalized yet, but I'm reaching out to some of them. I don't want to mention the names of people until we finalize, but we're reaching out to some of the popular guests we have on the show here to come, and some other people who have not been on the show. So I don't want to mention their names because some conversation is still...
So here's how we plan to do it. For everyone, we want to have a minimum of at least 50 attendees that will be coming, penned and confirmed. Once we do that, then I'll go ahead to make the final payments for the banquet hall. It costs a lot, so I don't think it'll be wise to go ahead and hold that when we don't know exactly who is coming. But we want to have at least 50 indicating that they will be coming, and then we'll finalize everything as far as that banquet hall is concerned. So we're going to set up an email, maybe a phone, WhatsApp group. And if you're going to be attending, please just add your name and send it out. When it gets to you, pick a number, add your name. Let's keep it rolling that way. When we get 50, everything will be formally concluded. So we don't have a topic or name for the symposium yet, but we'll come up with that very soon. But this is just to say that Atlanta is going to host the first one, and following Atlanta's, the next one will move on to the next state, where whomever chooses to host it will take place. So that's the update for now as we have it.
All right.
Any questions, if anybody has any?
Yeah, thank you so much, the flagship.
Forefather, my brother flagship, you are not being nice. No Ife in Atlanta? Ife is not part of the plan? Come on now.
Okay, please. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. I don't have Ife's contact. I don't know.
I think Dr. Do. Dr. Do.
Okay, I don't know if she lives here in Atlanta, but if you live here in Atlanta, please, we want everybody that is here in Atlanta or the state of Georgia that want to be a part of this planning to please reach out to Rudolph, and he'll reach out to me. So we all can meet virtually and we'll talk about what needs to be done and how it needs to be to go. But for now, the two main aspects, which would be the banquet hall and food for the day of the event, has been covered. Everything else is just the logistics, and we need everybody to be a part of this. So reach out to me and let's make this solid. So by the end of, here's the timeline. We want to get all 50 names by the, I'd say by the middle of April. Everyone that want to attend, please indicate by the middle of April, before the end of April, no later than the end of April. I'll be making final signatures on those contracts, having it together, and we know we're all set for July 26th.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Flagship and Kenneth, for voluntarily coming up with the support we need to get this going. I think for me, I want to say that I think it's a very good thing. It's a good thing if people can make the sacrifice needed to meet each other face to face. It will enhance what we do here, and a lot of other things I believe will come out of it, because when people meet face to face, some of these difficulties and challenges we have will go away, and people will meet their type, their like, their friends, and the relationship will develop out of it. I've been in that situation before, and we had a meeting from a message board, not even this kind of physical where we see each other, and we met in Atlanta, and it was wonderful. And there are people I still relate to today because of that meeting. So it's open to everybody, and we are going to have a special guests that will be there, and we are going to have a show out of there, hopefully on that weekend. And I think it will be fun for those who are able to make it. Thank you, Flagship.
Thank you.
All right. If there's no other question for him, we can take a break when we come.
Doctor, I don't know whether you know this song called Enigma.
Enigma.
The Faceless Guy. There's this song, Enigma. Oh, hi, hey, oh, hoo. Back in the days, in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Oh,
that is Forefather. Of course, Forefather will be there.
Rudolph,
we can see him.
Can't you make comment over what you said?
Enigma was a good sound those days. I'm sure that Forefather was not a but also he wouldn't know it.
Forefathers will come. I'm going to talk to him. Ike, go ahead.
Never.
I just want to make a comment on what Flagship said. I want to say thank you, my brother Flagship, Ikene, and Dr. Rudolph for thinking outside the box to make this possible. And I do hope that people will attend. For me personally, I would have loved to be the number one, right? To be there. But in the month of July, you know how we go on vacations. I already booked my vacation for the month of July. And my vacation is always 1 month. It's a family vacation. And I'm not coming to the US this time, but I am going to part of Europe, right? So unfortunately, honestly, I will not be there. But I think, listen, I'm excited, and listen, I'm happy to hear this. And I hope that God give us life whenever any other time this thing is going to happen. God give every one of us life. I will hope to be there by the grace of God. But this one, I think I will not be there. But if it has come earlier before my vacation, I would have shifted my time of vacation to maybe October. But as it is, you cannot have everything. So thank you for making it possible. Thank you for the sacrifices. And thank you for the effort to bringing us together, not only here, but seeing ourselves live, And I think it's something that is wonderful. I would have loved to meet Ekene, so that he can give me a onubo soup, But all for good. Huh? Thank you, my brother. God bless all of you. Those who think about it, may the Lord continue to give you the strength to continue. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, Ike. Thank you so much. Any other comments? All right, we'll be talking.
Doctor, I think it's maybe for next time we should try to make it put these things a little bit longer because of flight. You understand? For like those who is willing to come from Europe, maybe in the UK, and every other thing, because flying in summer period, flight is always on the high side. No, the good thing is that Atlanta is one route that you almost get cheap tickets. You understand, and every other thing, but maybe next time we should try to micromanage that part very well. Then also, let me just touch on another side, in a soft side, and I make mention about this immigration thing, the way our people think. Because I know some of our people who are here with visiting visas that are still working on their papers and everything. They just have this mindset that, oh, don't travel again because of Trump. No, as far as you have a passport, it's a form of ID. If you travel domestic flights, you are not passing through immigration. You understand? Because some of us might be in that level and choose not want to travel, not want to come because they just felt that they don't want to come because they don't have the so-called green card or US passport. Please, you can travel with your Nigerian passport for domestic travel. It is okay, and it's very, very okay. So for those of us that is in that category, they are very free to travel. Then also some of us that also may be interested, maybe financially, they also don't have the wherewithal. Maybe when we create that WhatsApp group, please feel free to say, if people can support me a little bit. Some of us might support, some of us can say, well, we don't have it. That is also okay. You understand? And like the Bible said, don't forget the days of your little beginning and everything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Paul. I like that. I like that. Anything that we can do to help everybody who can come to be there, I think it will be a wonderful experience. And I think it will also change the dynamics of what we do here after that. All right. In the absence of anything else, we take a break. When we come back, we go to the next topic. And I think you guys will lie down. Thank you, everybody.
Onye ọma zoro bio, akwa nwa zoro bio, Max ịbịa bunye gokwanụ m n'ofube n'azụ ụlaga n'ịbịa zigo, mmanwụ ụlaga do n'ịbịa zigo, akwa nwa ilochi yo biko rapụ zoro ka ọ nabazi ya. Onye ọma zoro biko, abọmma nwatara ndasari, ịbịa onye negwana m ụlagado n'ịbịa zigo, mma ụlagado n'ịbịa zigo, abọmma nwe ilochila biko rapụ zoro ọ nabazi ya. Mazi wako mwe odogu no kwerezu neka onyoma nigadele mwe mazi ni bazi ibu go wuti baladi Odogu na chala noka Ezi wane mliga delemo Olagado ni pezigono Ma olagado ni pezigo Amama mwilo chilo Nikora muzo Anabazi Te Onyama zorode Mama wazara nasari Iba muyana kwana mo ofube nare Ulaga noni biazugo Nazaboy Ulaga noni biazugo Mama wilo chilo Biko rapuzoro Anabazi Odogu kenero bikechofo Ama kwa mnika kugogia Waligwe kwelona Ikeja mabele begia Hey, you want? chukwu n'ịgaji esi nwanne m ekene ịlapụlụ ife niile na-eme wee bịa nke gosili na anyị na gị bụ nwanne wisdom ịgaji ka nye gị maịkị ka ogobanya bụ egwu esili maxi ọ bụ na-etiri egwu a malụkwa malụ n'imego m ife ọjọọ wee sị gị nwanne m ife ọkụ na ịchọlụ na ngeme wisdom onume ekene gị agbamanwụ iyo iyo biko lapụ nabasị ya zoro 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 Joy na bugwa Hausa Sokoto Ujembe nwilo anụ solo nwe ma n'ọfịa n'ara onye nwụrụ zuru ike
Pandef is the worst organization anybody can rely on. Why? Let me tell you. I used to tell my father, I said, Dad, I got him. I'm disappointed with this. If you continue with this, I'm not going to support you. I will not be a party to it. If you have a father who is always interested in money, he can serve his child or his children. All these leaders, look at the comments they have made. Mr. President intervened in this matter. Mr. President intervened. I'm not talking about Vice President though. Mr. President intervened. Vice President was there. National Security Advisor was there. National Security Advisor signed for implementation of peace. This same Pandef came out and said, Mr. President has no right. They took Mr. President to court. People like Chief Sara, one of the worst persons you can ever think of. One of the merchants, political merchants. I knew them. Data speak.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Why are we blank? All right, I'm not sure what's going on. Technical people, are you here? I'm not sure what's happening. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see nothing.
Yeah, we can see. We can hear you. Everything.
All right.
I can hear you. I can hear you, but I can't see.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. If any of the technical people can see this, help us. This has never happened before. All right, that's crazy. Sure. If you're watching, can you please try to see if you can help figure out what's going on? Yeah. This is. All right, these are village village people. Rudolph, you surrounded yourself with enemies. No, I don't know. I don't think it's okay. We can get this up. All right, let me play a video and see if
Rudolph.
Yeah.
Are you using the physical hardware for StreamYard, or is the software you're connected to?
Software.
Okay. Yeah. Is there settings for video camera that you see in front of you?
Yeah. This is strange. All right, let me see if I can put in a video while I try to sort out what probably is going on. That's strange.
President Godswill Akpabio is in big trouble. Yes, in fact, if he hasn't already started peeing his pants, he's probably going to. Right now, the Nigerian senators, our senators, are holding him by, well, you get the picture. What am I doing? They are holding him by the balls. Yes, I said it. They are.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. I don't know how that happened and what led to that, but I'm happy we're back. And, thank you so much. So we're going to go to the next story. I think will be of interest to most of us here, which is the situation in Rivers State. There were people who are protesting yesterday, today. At this point, we don't know how it's going to end. The Rivers State situation, and we can actually compare the way the approach to that issue to how the Lagos situation was handled. Let me start with you, Paul. Our man, Wike said that Fubara could be impeached and nothing will happen.
Yeah, Doctor, I said something previously ago, and I will still say the same thing again. Jim Wobodo said it. He said, minority will have their say, and majority will have their way. So from Wike's own point of view, from the powerhouse, he sees himself like the majority. So he strongly believes that he's going to have his way. The one thing that Fubara did well was to fire the former Attorney General of the state. You understand? And Fubara put his own. But right now, what the 26 of them, the new guys that comes in now, the Amuele faction, what they are doing, they said that current, the commissioner of justice, the justice commissioner, Attorney General of Rivers State, that it was not properly, because it was only those 3 or 4 people, you understand, that are pointing that when he passed through his inquiry and every other thing. So they still want to kick him out. They still want to recognize the previous one that Wike recommend for them. So that's another problem on his own. If they can succeed with that, then they can go ahead and impeach Fubara. But if they can't succeed to also remove this current commissioner of the state attorney general, if they can't succeed in removing it, then it can't go anywhere, because it is the commissioner that will appoint the 7-man committee that will go ahead with the impeachment. So with that, it's going to be really, really hard. So that's another fight on its own. But they can also have their way. You understand? And this is the way the system works. So the game that Fubara is playing, I think it's time for Fubara to stand up. So, Doctor, I am this type of person who preaches this thing that people hate me a lot. Great men that commit atrocities in the Bible that we carry a lot. You understand? Abraham married so many wives. God said that is the one. My friend. David, God said this is the one by my heart. This is the man who killed, who commits so many things. But sometimes we try to find that it's only good people that God like. But God says rain fall for good and bad person farm. It's time for Fubara to stand up and fight the good fight. You understand? You started in a silent political way. It is time to start the real fight and every other thing, because good percentage of these 26 members, that is on Wike's side, many of them are Ijaw. That is our own Fubara, own people. But Fubara is not even knowing how to call these people and let us close the door. You understand? And negotiate. What about the greater good? Play the tribal game. Play any, if you want to play the violent game, if you want to play the diplomatic game, play all. You understand? You can't lobby. Out of the 26, you can't break any one of them, even when good percentage of them are your own people. You know, it's kind of funny because where we can even come from in that place, it's not in the majority. You understand? So I don't get it. So this thing that Fubara is playing and everything, I will remind him again. When they call some people, oh, they married two wives, foolish men. God say Abraham is my friend. He has so many wives. He said, David, this is the one I like. So many. He didn't even ask him for one man to go buy one man. He buy 220. Take their offskin just because of one. Send another woman to war front. Another man to war front because of saying, come on, wake up. But if you can't wake up and everything, throw the towel. Let somebody else move on. But we can't continue like this. We can't run a nation like this because these guys will threaten. Guess what? They're going to carry out that threat. You understand? And it's going to cause more violence. It's going to cause more problems. The Jaws are very, very strong. I come from a region where my people torment the Jaw very well. But when the Jaw people realize their strength, when they come together, it's not easy for where I come from. Where I come from, nearly all the men there, they are all in the military and everything. But when this Ijaw gets their strength together, when they understand that united we stand and divided we fall, it's not easy for my people. I am saying it as an Orobo man to an Ijaw person. And I don't want this type of thing to play because I suffer it in Delta State. For over 20 years, the military is still there. Doctor, today, if anybody lost his loved one in Warri, if you buy a cow to do whatever burial, you pay the army 20,000 naira to carry a cow. Army just sit down there doing nothing, taking money. Take money from bike people because of that Warri crisis that happened in the 90s till now. Soldiers are still there. And that's exactly what my Southeast people is also suffering. Again, with this police, army checkpoint and everything. We don't want to we don't want to turn the country to this type of thing. Then Daniel Bwala will go now to find how to defend the country when people go out again and report to Trump again. Forefather will say, don't go report. We can't continue to run a nation like this. So Fubara should wake up, walk, play the politics. If you call these guys, they want power. They want to enjoy it from the cookie jar. Bend them. You can bend them. You have the power right now. Use it. Doctor, sorry before I leave. There's something Obasanjo did many years ago. Obasanjo was Chris Anyanwu was granted an Obasanjo interview. I've told Obasanjo that we hear that IBB want to contest for president when Obasanjo was planning to go for a second term. Obasanjo say IBB. In the military, I'll be senior. When it comes to governance, I become power before him and everything. So in all ramifications, I senior him in the military. Head of state, I did it 3 years, 6 months before he came and everything. I'm a president, he is never a president. You understand? So why are you telling me IBB is powerful? Obasanjo using directly same message to IBB. All IBB posters that we used to see in 2002, all the old posters start vanishing in Abuja, Lagos, everywhere. You understand? So Obasanjo just send that signal straight to IBB indirectly. And IBB understand how power works. That IBB is not powerful. It is when you have power, that is when you are powerful. But Fubara still cannot recognize that he has power. But using the power, he don't even know how to use the power. Then just throw the towel off. If he wake up, it will be good for the country. But all Tinubu is playing, Tinubu is just playing for his own interest. He's playing for his own interest. Tinubu will going to do everything to send a signal across because Tinubu only man that can help him in Rivers State is Wike as at this level. He lost great relationship with somebody like Amechi and the likes. Then they've suffered Fubara for so long. What do you think? He just needs somebody there so that if they rig and then they leave the remaining one and use Festus Keyamo language, go to court. That's my take for now.
All right. By the way, Paul, why were you not there last week when your in-law was here?
Oh, doctor, don't worry. When you close from a shop, according to you, then me and you will talk from the back door.
All right.
Yeah, because we review it for more than 2 hours.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for the right time to tell you.
Okay.
But I was not there coincidentally. He finished the interview and called me on phone. So when he called me and said he did it, I was shocked. I didn't even know.
All right.
I didn't even know.
All right, no problem. We'll talk. KJ.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry. My head just ran up. Now, what's the topic we're actually talking
We're
about?
talking about with River State, the situation in River State.
Oh, yes.
Fubara
Thank you.
and
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I want to take it from where Paul stopped.
Doctor,
in
please
fact,
just put me on the backstage first. Let me find something in my belly.
Okay.
it has come to a point where I am actually beginning to be irritated by that man called Fubara. You know, and that is you see, Doc, I'm going to tell you something. That is a problem of people from the Southeast. We don't understand power. I mean, you cannot be in power and be begging people who are, inconsequential. You make them consequential. You as an executive governor, you knew that they're not going to allow you enter the gate. You carried yourself and your security to the gate. So what's the work of your ADC, who was supposed to have cleared the way for you and make sure that where you're going is safe and also cleared and that you can be received? So you are all playing to the gallery. That's one. But the person who is the winner here are the 27 lawmakers who didn't allow you to get into that premises. They have taken, you lost some points there. Now, you are in power, and these people are challenging your power. Except you are telling me that the people in the state are no longer answerable to you. If they are answerable to you, then you can equally assert the same authority that Wike is asserting. Okay, you see, look. Unfortunately, the Nigerian state is falling apart because Dr. Ruben Abati used to say that you don't go to the Supreme Court to go and with a shopping list for what you didn't even we didn't pray for. They should give you. But that's what happened in the judgment of the the River State judgment from the Supreme Court. They went there for local government election. All of a sudden, they ended up with the 27 lawmakers being given a green light to continue to be lawmakers, even though it's against a written norm of the constitution that's kept all of them there. So you begin to wonder, at what point will we learn as Nigerians, as people observing the status quo? And I said this on a platform 2 days ago, that you see, in other climes, and I gave an example of the Nigerian situation when these people took Nigeria as a nation to court in England. And at the end of the day, the ruling was, the judge, and I quote the judge, he said, for the purpose of good conscience and the people of Nigeria, he cannot pass this judgment in favor of that company. And so he's going to what? He's going to not pass judgment. Because if he passes the judgment, Nigeria will go bankrupt. Now, this is not going by the book of what he has seen, but he's going by what he thinks will happen to a people he has no relation, no hand. He could have just simply passed it. He's living in England. His economy is good. Whatever is good for him. But he considered the people how many thousands of kilometers away, saying, look, for the purpose of those people, let me not do this. How come our own people, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, pass a law to favor a man as against the whole of the people of River State? It is very shameful. It does not make any good sense of reasoning, because if you look at even the purpose of which a law is written, it's for the good of the people. So what law has been passed for the good of people of River State? If you are even denying what is on paper. Rudolph, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Just for once, you have written an exam. You have the paper of your student on your hand saying he sat for that exam. Then your student comes back to you and says, no, I didn't sit for that exam. The rest of the class people are saying, no, we saw you in that exam. You were there. Then the student tells you, no, I'm not in that exam. Then the VC comes and tells you, oh, no, he wasn't in that exam. This is exactly what's going on in Nigeria concerning River State. Everybody, the whole social, the television houses have these videos where you people were rejoicing and celebrating and singing songs of how you have left and how you have now moved to APC. You went to the court, you swore an affidavit, okay, and then now you turn around and the Supreme Court has agreed and saying, no, they are not this thing. So where do we start and how do we end? How do we even move forward with Nigerian situation? So it's not that Wike is so powerful, but the judiciary are now controlled by Wike. So as the executive controlled by Tinubu, that's why he went to Lagos people can come and he issued them automatic what to do and they did. So we have bastardized the Nigerian government. So whatever we're seeing now don't make any sense to anybody. I don't know where to start from, but I'm just venting my frustration, really. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, KJ. Tony.
Yeah, thank you once again. It's for me, it's pathetic what's happening in Rivers State. I subscribe to the views of KJ, but it just reminds me of what happened between Chief Obafemi Awolowo when he went to the Supreme Court challenging the declaration of Shehu Shagari as the president. That was when we had the 12-2/3 issue, where the court was to determine what is 2/3 of 19 states, I think, 2/3 of 19. And the Supreme Court made a ruling, a declaration that favored MPN. But that judgment, it was said, should not be quoted anywhere, So I think the consideration was that they were looking beyond just the election. They're looking at what will happen if that election if the Supreme Court declared that there was no winner. What was going to happen to the country? So I think the Supreme Court looked more in terms of what will become of the nation, if they made the declaration different from what happened. So, and I think that in the case of River State, that should ought to have been the consideration. I'm not a lawyer, but I think we have seen repeatedly that when politicians quarrel, they run to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court just rules. Some of the rulings that we have had, we've seen, a governor who didn't contest, somebody who didn't contest the election or who came forth is made a governor. We've seen quite a lot of things that you can't just, morally justify. But then, I'm not a lawyer. That's the Supreme Court's view. Now, I think that what has happened now has literally, the appearance is that Wike is on the saddle, is in control. But I don't think that is true. Literally, that is what it appeared. But if you look at the entire ramifications of what's happening in River State, I think we're sitting on a keg of gunpowder. I watched Wike today when he appeared somewhere in River State for a Thanksgiving ceremony. And, the crowd was, you'd imagine that the man still had that kind of support. And it was in the heart of Ijoland.
No. Sorry, let me correct you, sir. They were deceived. They were deceived. I just somebody sent me all the thing. They were deceived. One of their sons of that land said to the paramount ruler, who has also this associated himself from that crowd, that he was coming to celebrate the appointment given to him. They did not know. I'm quoting from the paramount ruler. They did not know it was Wike who was behind it. So when they eventually saw that it was Wike who was behind, it was already late because people have been mobilized to celebrate the other guy. That's the thing. So
because when I saw the crowd, it was incredible. I'm saying, listen, are you saying that Wike still commands this kind of respect? Following in River State. But what I want to say, the Ijaw people are, in terms of demography, they are the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria. So they have quite a significant population. And the way the country is today, they have something they are holding on to, and that is some of them are saying, if you remove our son, then we return back to the creeks. And of course, we know the implication of that, not just for Rivers State, but for Nigeria. So it's a very dicey situation that I think I had written an article, saying that the leaders of the state should come together and sort out the problem. The Wike appears to be in favor of impeachment. But you see, for that impeachment to hold, you have to go through the chief judge, because the chief judge has to sanction. And the chief judge appears to be on the side of the governor. So if you can move the chief judge to accept whatever is brought to him by the assembly, then the impeachment will not hold. That's one.
But Tony, I saw one story saying that the chief judge forged a certificate. Can't you see that they are already after him?
Well, you see, those are the things that are flying up and down, because they see that the obstacle that they would have, one, would be the chief judge. And so if they cannot penetrate the chief judge, then it's going to be there. And then even if they do that, you have the deputy governor that is going to be there. I don't know which way the deputy governor is, but on the whole, you also have to look at the other side. You might end up having a river state that will boil, and there's going to be a domino effect. So it's not just as easy as the impeachment is not just as easy. All those ones Wike is saying, that heavens won't fall and so on, and the things that he said about the job people, which he tried to clarify at the Thanksgiving ceremony, is neither here nor there. The governor was wise, for me, not to break down the gate when he went to the the House of Assembly, because I think it was set up, because in his usual the things that we have seen, he probably would just order them to pull down the gate. But I think he knew. And then, of course, like KJ said, usually when a VIP like that, the governor is going to a site like that, you send an advance team, and they sweep the place and they give the governor a report. So the governor knew quite all right that the gate was locked. He knew that, but I guess he probably thinks that he thought that when he gets there, so maybe reason will prevail and they will meet. But he didn't, and I support the governor for not using executive force to go into that place. But I think on both sides, they have to come down their high horse and see how they can sort this thing out together. I'm not going to. There are so many names they've called Wike and so on and so forth, but I'm not going to go there. I don't like calling people names. But I think somewhere, somehow, they should come together, sit down, and sort this thing out. It's a give and take. There's not going to be an outright winner here, So that would be my take. Otherwise, River State is going to boil.
Thank you, Tony. Let's hear from Mike.
Well, my brother Rudolph, Nigeria is a country where anything is possible. The genesis of all this thing that is happening in River State, we know why. Your president lost to River State, but Wike did his magic. And because he did his magic for him, he's now the most powerful minister in the administration of Mr. Tinubu and his government. And the president is 1,000% behind Wike, whatever he does. So is a compensation of 2023 and what is going to happen in 2027. The president is playing the tune and the pipe himself. If we take example of what is happening in Lagos State, it's the same thing. it is what it is. The Nigerian judiciary has made us, has made Nigerians look stupid with their judgment and their everything they do. So for me, like my brother KJ is saying, Fubara is not a weak governor. He's not weak. This is one of the things that people think that some people are weak. His life is kind of a man is not weak. And if you are following the event that is going on in River State, the people are with him. Because everybody who has been with Wike for 75% of the people that have been with Wike has abandoned him. You remember there was a video I was watching in Arad when Wike was taking an oath, swearing, ever will he ever say or do anything against Peter Odele? What is happening today? So, the people are with Fubara, and the man is preaching peace in River State. It is a problem of two people, Oga and Master, or Master and Boy, right? And Boy later become Master. And Master still want to control the boy that have served him for 8 years. He still want to tell him what he has to do, or the way he's going to rule River State, or how much of the River State resources that he's going to collect. And the boy who has become a master said, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. I can't do that. This is what I'm going to do. I am here for the people of River State and the River State people, and I'm going to serve. I'm not going to serve anybody. That is the problem. What is the problem? The resources of River State. He wants to control the resources of River State. So, yeah, some people will always follow people like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that Wike is with the majority of the people. No. What happened at the State Assembly, like Tony said, you wouldn't have expected Fubara to say, break the gate. He has the power, he has the authority, he has the people to mobilize to tell them to put down the gate. But this was a trap. They set a trap for him, right? So he could not fall into their trap. You want to tell me, he confirmed on the news channel when he was interviewed, he wrote them a letter signed by himself telling him that he's going to represent the budget. And the same day that he promised to come, they locked the gate. And look at the message of yesterday. They said they are going on indefinite leave. So what are we trying to say? It is Tinubu and Wike game, right? This is the game that is going on in River State. The president do not care what happens in River State. He cares much about Wike and his power in 2027, right? So, but I want to assure you here, my brother KJ, Fubara is not a weak person. The people are with him. The people of River State are with the governor. If the governor make an address tomorrow and tell people of River State to come out tomorrow, I am telling you that you will know that people are with him. So it's not weak. He cannot fall to weak again. So this is what is playing out in River State. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ike. Femi, you're next.
Yeah. So it's obvious that we don't learn from the past, judging by the fact that this has a precedent in what happened in Anambra during Obasanjo's regime, as an example. And of course, you already cited the fact that there's a difference in the way the river situation is being handled versus the Lagos situation, which is not too dissimilar. It's all down to godfatherism and holding on to power even when out of power. So essentially, there was out of the myriads of ridiculous things Wike has said since October of 2023, when this problem first started between himself and Fubara first came to the fore. Something he said very recently during the week, I believe, about Fubara not being Ijo, and of course, considering how tenuous that part of the country can be when it comes to agitations, and when you mix that with the fact that Fubara, as far as I know or recall, happens to be the first Ijo governor. I mean, I stand to be corrected, but that's what I've come to know. Certain statements that he's making is already creating all kind of tensions amongst the Fubara's Ijaw ethnic groups. As a matter of fact, the Ijaw National Congress, they're already gone into overdrive now, and they've already told Tinubu, they've put him on alert, they're warning him. And you also have Asari Dokubo in the background doing his own thing. So if if people in power still think this is a game, then they should remember that just because there's the relative, not so relative silence from the Ijaw people, they should be ready for the consequences of what is about to happen. Because obviously, again, it seems that people still think this is a game. And then when you look at the timeline of all of what that has happened, sometimes it's difficult for you to even defend, in this case, Fubara too, because on the day of his inauguration, we are reminded of the fact that he praised Wike to high heavens. There's still, you know, the internet never forgets. If you go and read the speech or even have access to the video of how he praised Wike to high heavens, you find it really funny how things change. And it didn't take time. Within 6 months, there was already problems. It started with the bombing of the state. Was it the bombing? They didn't even break it. They bombed it at that time. They didn't remove the roof. Just when he got wind of the fact that they were about to impeach him, and all the way down to when those guys, 20-something of them decamped to APC. Once he got a note that these guys were not relenting, to when he took it to the state high court and they declared their seats vacant, to the back and forth between 1 minute it's going to be about the state high court saying one thing, on another occasion the federal high court will say another thing, to the point where we don't even know why INEC till tomorrow has not been able to take things, or maybe even the Supreme Court has not been able to confirm the fact that whenever people leave a party, then it's null and void. You know, it's so much confusion, and of course, the confusion is deliberate, in my own opinion, because it plays into a lot of the narratives of what's about to happen in 2027. But ultimately, I don't think these things are not resolvable if Tinubu, for example, wants to resolve it. But whatever the case, I think it's the Nigerian people that continue to suffer. In this case, the Rivers people are continue to suffer. Again, like I said earlier, it's difficult sometimes to even pity Fubara in this case, although I lean on the side of the underdog, because it's something that has been a recurrent decimal, even during the time of Amechi, or Dili and what have you. It's just ridiculous, and there's no other way to finally there's no other way for me to look but to the fact that Rivers State being the second richest state in Nigeria, and of course that's how you know how Wike amassed his wealth. There's a lot at stake, you know, when it comes to the oil money as well.
Thank you, Femi. Let's go to a man of prestige. You have to mute yourself, man of prestige. Man of prestige, unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
I think what's going on in Lagos is a waiting time bomb waiting to explode. There's this narrative going on comparable to what's going on in Lagos State. I will just, from my own perspective, this is the way I see it. Tinubu is the one orchestrating the whole thing. I mean, you can even see by the statement that he made on Tuesday. You know, he advised Fubara, you know, to go ahead and implement the agreement they already had earlier and adhere by the rule of law. I mean, look at Tinubu talking about rule of law. Have you ever, you know, had Tinubu ever adhere by the rule of law and given an advice to Fubara to adhere by rule of law? You know, this is Nigeria for you. He has already cajoled Lagos or whatever, put Obasa there, you know, and Obasa is going to be the speaker. I didn't mean to debate, but it's a similar example. But River State is a little bit different. In Lagos, it's Yoruba. It's a Yoruba, you know, it's a Yoruba state. But in River State, it's different. There's about four ethnic groups. So it's a clash over there. I think they're going, from what I understand, they are not majority or not even close, because most of the people, you know, we are in I think in Bayelsa State after the creation. So that's why they have the majority. So whatever is happening right now is being orchestrated by, you know, what is it about? 2027. That's all about. He can just come out and play like he's, you know, like he's the father of the country, try to make like he's making peace. No, you know what's going on. That's what people don't understand. He wanted to be like that. It's all about capturing River. We know what happened during the, you know, previous election. He didn't win River State, of course. You know, I mean, this thing was there to manipulate it. So maybe Fubara, you know, it's a different party. That's not going to happen. So he's trying to do anything possible to make sure there's DD people or Fubara people and Wike people that's there. That's the situation, but I don't know how that is going to play out. So they need to be careful, because River State control about 40% of, you know, of our oil, which is, you know, which is the heartland of what's going in the country. So if there's any kind of ethnic war, ethnic problem in that place, you know, it's going to affect the whole. But Tinubu doesn't care, you know. All is about election. He wants to bring. So him and Wike, it's all about Tinubu. I mean, that's just the way I see it. Voting. So that's the way I see it at this point.
All right, thank you, man of prestige. Let's go to Richards. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon from Minnesota. I'm in Minnesota from Germany to Minnesota. I've been here for seven weeks now, and I'm going back. Yeah.
Are you on vacation, or you just came to settle?
Oh no, my wife is living here, so I visited her, and I'll be living next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Is this your first time in America?
No. I've been here for several times. I do come here every year, spend 4 to 7 weeks, and then leave. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. My children are.
Did you notice any change in America this time?
No, not really. Everything. I mean, everything is okay. I mean, it's when I came here, I don't have any problem, because I do travel with a German passport anyway. So there's nothing like going, you know, any harassment. No, not at all. Yeah. So
okay.
My children are living in Nevada, while my wife is living here in Minnesota, because my children are University of Nevada, so they're grown up anyway.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't have much to say, because I'm doing this on my telephone, so somebody might call me. Okay. I don't have much to say about River State. What the politics of River State is divide and rule. Since the era of Gowon, River State has been in turmoil. This is what Nigerian government, federal government, northern hegemony, Yoruba hegemony, this is the kind of politics that are playing in the so-called South. They are making sure that place will be unstable, so that there will be no seaport in River State or in Calabar or in South. There will be no economic, you know, economic growth in that area. This politics has been there. So it's not about Wike or Fubara. It's about what Nigeria government wants River State to be since 1967. Let's get it, you know, correctly. And Wike is playing to the gallery. Wike is playing the music that the Yoruba, you know, hegemony and Fulani hegemony has been doing in River State. The blood of Igbo people that Wike murdered in Obibo is what is fighting back in River State. There shall never be peace in River State until that, you know, that atrocities against Igbo in 1967 to this day, until it is resolved. There shall be a crisis in River State. My mother is from River State, but I know what I'm talking about, because Igbo that River State has consumed a lot of Igbo lives, and that's why there's no peace there, and there shall never be peace there until they apologize to the atrocities they committed against their own brothers in the name of one Nigeria. Ken Sano, we did the same thing. Oh, where did he end? He ended up in being hanged. The same thing, and which all of them are used by the hegemony, and they will use them and they will dump them. I wish them good luck. But the blood of innocent Igbos, mostly the ones that were committed recently, no people, shall never go unpunished. On those people that killed Igbo people because of NSAS protest that was organized across Nigeria, mostly in southern Nigeria. We can use that to mastermind the kill of his own brothers. I mean, there shall never be peace in River State until there is, reconciliation, until they come and apologize to the Igbo people. Thank you. I'm listening. Thank you from here. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Richard. And it's been quite an interesting technique. Anybody wants to add to that before we move to a different topic? Anybody can raise their hand.
Yes, I would like to add a little bit and everything.
Okay. Go ahead.
But from what Mr. Richard is just saying, there is no peace in 36 states in Nigeria. You understand? This is actually happened everywhere and everything. We are so religious and we are so spiritual with the way we do things, and we mix all these things up together. Sometimes people don't understand that what is religion is also culture, because religion is like way of life. Culture is like way of life. The Western, the so-called Western people, some of them embrace religion like a way of culture. And those that didn't embrace religion also have other things that they do and other things. So when we mix our own together, it's just causing all type of thing and other thing. People would die, people would do anything. It has nothing to do. It's just that we just know how to play dirty politics, and then we oftentimes think a lot when it comes to our family, our immediate family and everything. We don't see the greater good, and these are the things that is just affecting us. That's why I'm saying that if Fubara can see the greater good, that why can one man fight the state? Fubara should understand that he now represents the state. Let him pick up the mantle. He's not fighting his godfather. He's using the apparatus of the state to fight somebody who wants to cause a threat to that state. These are the type of thing I'm expecting Fubara to do and everything, but they would do it. And Doctor, you make mention of the Congo thing, and what is other 53 African countries doing before Congo is going back to the US, who happened to hurt them for not so long. You understand? Not so long. Why are they going back? But sometimes when you are so limited with your options and everything, you just do wrong thing. You understand? Like Paul said in the Bible, he said, I saw myself doing the things that I don't want to do. You understand? So these are the things. You just limit yourself. Like I tell people all the time, living here in the US, do you think it makes sense? Somebody will tell me in the US, say, oh boy, you enjoy. I say, now so now. If tomato dey for fridge, never not take light, you go dey fresh now. But tomato no be food now. You understand? But in Nigeria, they eat fresh food. We will eat ogbono that will be in our freezer for 9 months. Is that mortuary food? That is what is called mortuary. Something stay in the morgue for 9 months. Egusi will stay in the freezer for 9 months, 7 months. You understand? We don't eat good food. So it's just the same thing. So we also like to come back home. But because of sometimes home is just not comfortable enough for us, that's why we find ourselves outside. So for the greater good, Fubara should see that thing. The so-called elders should wake up and say, let us fight this fight, and it will be a good fight. Let us use the apparatus of the states to fight. It's not about the man Fubara over the man called Yesom Wike. It's about Fubara use the apparatus, because Wike is not fighting Fubara. Fubara should understand that Wike is fighting the state. It's fighting the state. It's causing all type of problem in the state. You understand? Then when the ordinary man in the street pick up and do all these things, will cause them. Doctor, every day, do you see the way they cause all these women that, oh, they give them 2,000, they give them 5,000, they give them this 1,000, and everything? How many people will give women those type of money in Saudi Arabia when everybody is doing well? You understand? As a young boy, when my mother was cooking in the pot, and everything. I go there, I want to also go do some petty job and everything, thinking I can do it. But when I discover that I can't do it, I face my mother food. So when I sell food, I thief some small money to buy jeans. That is easy for me. You understand? Because there's food in my own house. So these are the things. You understand? So for the greater good, Fubara should stand up and pick up these fights and also play the card very well. Like I said again, the 26 members in that place, good percentage are his own people. Work on those people, make some calls. Talk to these people, promise them at the end of the day, nobody go there for the greater good. The first greater good in politician in Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, is to go make money. Promise them, come to my camp. Is it not money that you are looking for? Wike go throw away you. Do you know if Wike can betray his own boss, who is you that Wike is breeding? You understand? Wike is bringing you. The people that make Wike can throw them on the bus, can throw somebody like Odili, can forget somebody like Amechi and everything. So who is you? Come back home so that at least we'll celebrate you home. Play all type of politics that you can play and play the Machiavellian style and everything. It will help you. But this card that Fubara is playing, by the time the ordinary man will take it personal and everything, the Nigerian state going to suffer. They're going to hit the pipe. They're going to do things. Soldiers going to rape our sisters, our daughters, and our wife. I don't want it to go that direction. So play the dirty card and everything. Then also spend money. Spend money. Don't let the media do pro bono for you all the time. Spend money. Take over the media. You understand how many adverts the media make to make all this money? Spend money on the media. Take over the media. Take over the media. Go to places like South Africa. Go to CNN. Go everywhere. Play the game. One lady just went to New York the other day. The National Assembly is shaking. And everything. Play. That's how media make their money. Thank God, Doctor, now I have one in my own wardrobe too.
Yeah,
Can I make one comment?
Go ahead, man of prestige. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to talk about just for a few minutes about what transpired, to our adopted country here in United States. What I'm talking about the shameful act, Trump put up the other day. I think was it on Friday or Thursday?
No, hold on.
Addressing the Department of
Man of
Justice.
prestige. Hold on. Don't change the topic, okay? I'll come back to you. Let me hear from Tony. I think Tony, you want to say something? You can round up this topic and then you can talk about Trump.
Okay, quickly, Doctor, I think that Fubara has a few problems here. The problem is that he's been somewhat emasculated because the funds that he usually would have from the federal is withheld. So to that extent, monetarily he's handicapped. The other thing is that there are issues here that will be difficult to untie. River State is very strategic to APC and to the president. If you look at the 2023 election and how Wike swung the votes to his favor, looking at 2025, Wike still remains for him an instrument that he can use. If he's going to run and God keeps him to win Rivers. So to that extent, it will be difficult for him to use the big whip against Wike for strategic reasons. It will be difficult for him to do away with Wike because if you look at the various things that Wike has done and his posturing and so on, any reasonable government would put him away because but so long as he serves the interest of the president, he's useful. And then the other part is Wike is also looking at his political future. There's nothing else he has. If the federal government does away with him, the only thing that he has is to hold River State as a bargaining tool. So if he loses that, then it's going to be a big blow. And if you look at his personality, Wike is going to fight to hell, to keep his hold over River State. And we have seen the way he dealt with his predecessors and all those who helped him. So all in all, Fubara is in a very difficult situation. But even then, I believe that he can still wriggle his way out because he appears to have the support of the people. And being an Ijaw and this Ijaw sentiment that is being a whip up, is their son and nobody should remove him. the likelihood of Rivers State breaking into chaos following his impeachment or removal or purported, if it's going to happen, is one that you can't imagine. If you look at the consequences to Rivers State and Nigeria. So at the end, for me, I think it's something that is not outside influence that is going to settle them, because every outside influence will be looking at what the gain for them. I think it's the Rivers people, the elders, that will sit down and say, listen, this is not about saints and sinners. This is about sinners all. And so they have to make
Tony, one part that you must understand, Fubara managed Wike book for many years. And one big mistake that Wike made, that very many politicians do make, Wike owns tens of property in that state. Do you see the way they use the guy in Delta State, the former CBN governor? Do you see the way they did with this controversy with all these properties and everything? Fubara can play all this card. Do you know how many properties Wike have? How much is your salary? Wike have never done any job before. By the time you do all those, these are the things that will wake him personally, because now media will be finding him to ask him this question. Wike owns chains and chains of property. If you don't take the media is doing pro bono for Fubara. Fubara spend money in the media.
All
you
of
understand? The media will not be in your side.
All of them have a hold on each other, so there's no. They all know.
Fubara, remember,
this is the dirty politics they're playing.
Fubara have the apparatus of the state. Fubara have immunity. Fubara have all these things. Then Fubara can play the game and still talk to Tinubu. I am coming to APC with all my men. If Fubara come to APC, automatically he is the leader of APC in the state. The governor is the leader of the state. You can play all this type of game.
All right, Paul, thank you.
Fubara, not the accountant general of Wike. Wasn't he the accountant general of Wike?
Yeah, he was the accountant. Yeah.
So all right. Nobody has a clean hand in what's happening in that state. So
when I made the assertion that we from the South don't know how to play with power, that's exactly what Paul is alluding to. You see, you are sitting on the power. Don't kill yourself. Okay? That the federal government or the court said that local government funds should be withheld from you. Doesn't mean that they are withholding allocation coming to the River State. And you see, I want to give an example. There's a particular snake that doesn't bite, but whenever it does that, there's no cure. That is a kind of posture that this man, you say you be gentleman, I be gentleman. Gentleman not just to keep quiet and be letting everything go and anything go. No, there's a time to fight. If you don't know the time to fight and you are just saying you're a gentleman, right now, just like Paul said, go back into the books. Begin to, all those land that he gave to himself, those buildings he gave to himself, begin to revoke everything. Revoke everything. Go to his those people holding the gunpowder for him. Go and begin to offer them those places, those things. You sell it to them, give it to them. Do what, look, is to fight to finish. There's no need for us to be holding back. Since Tinubu wants it that way, you also face that. And then if you lose out, you lose out. But at the end, you'll have put up a good fight. This thing is doing, it's really irritating me. You want the media to be doing your work for you, interview to go to the media and get them. You know, I was speaking to this might be my last point, Rudolph. I was speaking to a colleague of mine because I know Gbenga Rola very, very well. I work with Gbenga, okay? And I was asking him, how come Gbenga and all these people these are big people we know in the media. They couldn't ask this man question. He was just lecturing them and say, you media people, you need to read. You need to go and read. And nobody could push back. What happened? Is the guy just like said, you know how much they have in their pocket? They don't care.
No, there was one person. There was one person who was giving him a tough time. I don't know.
No, just one. Don't see. I have worked with Gbenga. Look, Gbenga, when I was working with Gbenga, he wouldn't even pick. What's his name? Wike's call. He won't pick. I've seen Wike call him. He will show me the voice. Look at. He doesn't talk to them. So for him now to have a change of heart, well, I'm not saying anything. I'm simply saying these are big media guys in Nigeria. Okay, they are big media guys who can push any governor back by asking questions. The mere fact that they refuse to push back, the guy asked the guy said, if he told me, KJ, if you are the one who has been brought there and you have 10M in your pocket, will you ask any question? I said, I'm not going to ask questions.
KJ, off your bike. KJ, off your bike. KJ, off your mic.
No. The point is, I know this is a serious issue, but when you don't have evidence, we off the mic, especially for the media. But the point is, I see you. Can I hold on? The point is that I read somewhere that Wike actually paid for that interaction with the media. So there are some things you see that it's not like news. I've not watched it, but I heard that he basically put them down in the way he spoke to them. So if they paid for that hour, there are some states that could say, I'm paying for 1 hour of your channel time.
And doctor, live program, not just even recorded live.
So
calculate the amount.
So if he did that, then what it means is that, you are the owner of the paper said, or newspaper or maybe TV station said, go and cover this. It's paid time. So maybe that's the restriction. I don't know how about that way. I will look into that. I'm trying to get one of the people who was there to come and tell us. All right. I will go to Man of Prestige. Man of Prestige, are you talking about outside the topic?
No, he's got to talk about Trump.
Let me say something before I get two of you to win. We have to go to another stream. It's
just going to take a minute or so.
Another 4 minutes. I know. Kenny, I will let you speak too.
Okay, sir.
But in that stream, we are going to talk about P2B, meeting with Bala Mohammed, what it means for 2027. El Rufai joining SDP. ICC picking up the former president of Philippines, and Zelensky and Putin. So that's the topic there. So let's round up in 4 minutes here.
Doctor, one part that you didn't talk about, they are depriving the elders their rights. You understand? Before they die of prostate. Porn. People don't understand that porn, the legislator that is talking about porn in National Assembly, people don't understand the original concept of porn.
You're talking, wait, I saw that late, okay? I saw that late. But there's a bigger one. I heard that Canada, where is the Canadians here? Nobody, they are gone. Canada, they said that Canada is about to use a nuclear weapon on America, which is to turn off YouPorn or something. That I didn't know it's a Canadian production. So that's all they need to do. And Americans, we say, okay, that's it. We have Trump behave. All right, let me go to the Trump people. Man of Prestige, you first, and then Kenneth.
So, are you changing the topic? Because I want to add to the River State stuff, please.
Oh,
just
okay,
a minute.
Go ahead, Kenneth.
Okay, I think, good day, everyone. There was this speaker from Minnesota. Can't remember his name. I think what the man said, I agree with him 100%. You see, we tend to forget so soon what happened. There's this quote that says, dangerous consequences will follow when politicians and rulers forget moral principle. Fubara forgot moral principle. And today, he wants to be innocent. He wants to be seen as a morally upright man. No, Fubara, you were part of the conspirators that conspired against P2B and rigged the election of River State people's election and gave it to APC. So you disrespected River State citizens. You disrespected your father, your mother, your brothers and sisters by hijacking their vote and giving it to APC. You did what your master, Wike, asked you to do. And today your master is dealing with you and you want us to be sympathetic, sympathize with you. No. Some of us, we tend to remember karma. We know that the law of karma is also called the law of cause and effect, the law of action and reaction. And that also can be equated to what you sow, so shall you reap, right? So you are reaping what you actually cultivated. And the likes of Kene have no pity for you. So my prayer for you is that Wike should find a way to deal with you mercilessly, and also that God will find a way to deal with Wike mercilessly. But I will urge the people of River State, be you Ijo, especially the Ijo people, do not give Wike that chance to ruin your state. Do not give Wike a chance to ruin your chances of becoming the governor. The Igbo people in River State have been governors for ages. Now it is your turn, and one criminal in the person of Wike. This is not allegedly. Kene is one saying it. Wants to ruin your state and your chances for you. So you should join hand the Igbo people, and I believe Igbo people will join you. They are not that tribalistic. Igbo people will join hands with Igbo people and deal with Wike very, very well. Because this thing that is going on today is affecting you, the people. Remember, your vote was stolen. And now, two criminals that stole your vote are fighting. It's a chance to target one and deal with him, and rest. Stop giving yourself headache. So this is my opinion.
All right, thank you, Kene. Kene, while you were not here, we extended our thanks to you for helping to organize what we are planning.
Can I round up?
Yeah, you round up planning to do in July. So
yeah, thank you. Thanks to you too, Dr. Damages and Flagship. Actually, Flagship, I greet you, sir. Yeah. And thanks to everyone.
So we'll be talking more about it as we go along. So thank you. Okay, man of prestige, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to use my roundup. I'm not going to talk about Nigeria issue, but I'm going to use my 2 minutes or whatever, to round up on it, on a different topic. If you permit me, it's about American politics. I was ashamed, the nefarious act that Trump displayed, yesterday when he addressed the Justice Department. I thought that was, all he was preaching there was just a retribution, try to revenge. Who does that? Because the Justice Department is supposed to be independent from, from the executive. I know it's under executive. Remember what when Obama, came into power, and he said, I put, yeah, you're under executive, but you're going to have a free hand. You're not going to be under the executive control. You're serving the people. That's what you're supposed to serve. But Trump, when there was perpetuating about how he's going to revenge anybody that did anything to him or anybody that called his name, that's what he's going to do. So that's where we are right now. People voted for bodyguard. It's our president, and we're going to be there. It's all about retribution. That's all he was saying. And look at what's happening in America. Last week was the worst day in stock market. The S&P and everything was the worst in about 2 or 3 years. Everything. Egg is a little bit better right now. Can I hope you eat a lot of egg right now. That's coming down a little bit, but it's still very high. So nothing has changed. It's all about Trump. So the next time you might sanction your Nigeria, for ethnic cleansing of the Christians. I think they have the Congress has passed has passed the vote, and it's in Trump's desk right now to decide what he's going to do. I think the South African ambassador here had been kicked out. So Trump don't really care about you African people. So when you sanction your Nigeria, you're going to go start drinking Gary. I don't know what you're eating right now, so it might be what. I just want to make that comment.
All right, thank you.
Yes, man of prestige. Thank you for that submission. I really love that you brought it up. I would rather have Trump sanction Nigeria for aiding and supporting Boko Haram to exterminating the Christians in the northern part of the country. So I would rather have somebody like Trump to sanction Nigeria than to have somebody like Biden that actually supports the killings of Christians in northern Nigeria. So this is it's all about choices. You prefer having someone that will support the killing of Christians, and then I support the one that will stop the killing of Christians, which is Trump. You see, now about egg. Actually, egg is in the market just the way it has been, which was caused by avian flu. And I think some of us, we don't know this because CNN has already brainwashed us to believe that Trump is the cause of the hike in the price of egg. Someone like me, I go to grocery stores. I don't leave everything for my wife to do. I go to grocery stores, so I know the prices of items in the market. So I know that the price of egg has been increasing for over a year now, since January of 2024. And it's caused by avian flu. So if Trump's administration is the cause of the hike in egg, how about other commodities? Why is this just eggs? So you see, we need to educate ourselves sometimes. And for whatever that you see Trump is doing right now is what he promised the people of America. and is fulfilling it. And that is why more than 77.7 million Americans voted for him. And he's doing rightly what they voted for. And we should applaud him for piloting us to the right direction. So, man of prestige, Democrats, they've lost the election, and God's willing, they are not coming back to White House again until after maybe 30 years.
It's not good again, my brother. It's not good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We are going to join the next stream and continue the conversation. I want to thank everybody who joined this stream, those in the comment section. We appreciate all of you. Those that supported us by donating through Super Chat. Kulata, thank you. Oscar Blackbone, thank you. And then, of course, those that became new members, because that's another way to support this program. Arinano, thank you so much for being a member. We appreciate you. So until tomorrow, yes, I need to talk about that. Tomorrow on the show, we have one of the candidates running for governor of Anambra State. Most of you know him. He ran in the last election. He's joining us. That is Val Ozibo. I'm looking for the flyer. He's going to join us tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa. And the next week we have the leader of SDP joining us. That's Prince Adewale Adebayo. He will talk about what happened when he went to Channels TV and why everybody is going to SDP now and what it means for him and for the 2027 elections. So if you can join us tomorrow, we will appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. On behalf of everybody here, we will now go over to the next stream and continue the conversation. Thank you.